And looks like we're live on Chasing the Truth YouTube. What's going on? Hey, folks. Good to see you. God bless y'all for showing up right at the get-go of this show. Lord have mercy upon me. Lord has blessed me today for sure. Got some great friends, impressive friends. They're just amazing. And we got friends in the chat for sure. And it looks like I'm alive. We are definitely alive and we're going well. Let's see who's in the chat there. Let me grab this chat and see who's in the participating mood. We got AJK, Sue from down under, Blues and G Music, Gills in the house. We got Shell in the house as well. Gene Fox, Gregory. What's up, brother? Just curious. Julie S is in here. The religion dystopias too. Folks, go follow him. I'm going to be on his show tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on his channel. So, Mike, if you drop your link to your channel or drop a link to that show, I'd be appreciative. I actually did post a thing in the community tab on my YouTube channel if you want to go over and do that. Follow that. Impressive stuff. Now, tonight, we also got Sheldon and Don in the house. So there's Sugar Britches and 2 feathers in here. Why not 3 feathers? All right. I just saw something I never thought I would ever see in my entire life. $8.86 for a dozen eggs over in California. $8.86 for 12 eggs. Now, who in the heck? I don't know. What has this whole world gone to? I don't know what's going on with this thing. I didn't vote for this, for sure. Who remembers the toilet paper shortage a couple years ago? You remember that? Everybody scrambled for toilet paper and was smacking people upside the head for toilet paper. Holy cow. Now we got, let's see. Jeez. Eggs, $8 a dozen. Oh my Lord, you can almost see a kid and get a dozen eggs. We got Amy in the house. Hannah B's in here. Let's see who else is floating in. Monkey Vines and Spirits. What is going on with you? Appreciate you dropping in. I ain't seen you. Beth, what is going on with you? I ain't seen you in a while. Democrats for the inflation. I blame. Well, since old Biden walked through the door, he pencil whipped all the oil production in this fine country, greatest country in the world, out the door. But there you go. Stacy is in the house. Maggie Brooks, what is going on with y'all? Got dozens, about 2 dozen worth of videos. And holy cow, what am I doing here? Has anybody heard hold on a second. Andy, oh crap, done forgot his name right now. For whatever reason, it just didn't pop in my head. I'm going to be talking about giants, Bigfoot, dogmen, skinwalkers tonight, and whatever else comes up with supernatural. Now, tonight's topic is at hand. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call in 931-994-6917. And let's see, let me get branding here. Well, what in the world did I just do? I hit the wrong freaking button. Banners. There we go. We'll do this. There you are. Or you can text the same number. Crazy. Brown Dwarf. Glenn is in the house there. What's up, Brown? War Criminal 7 is up there. Please like and share this here place out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you don't mind. Just one of those fine specimen things tonight. How many people in the chat believing that there are giants of the Bible, if not bigger, in definitely walking among us today, that are setting footprints on this here earth that we call home? Big Cole's in the house. Hey, brother, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see who's coming in and talking about anything and everything. All right. First up, let me grab the Oh Lord, I got massive Bigfoot stuff already in here. Tell you what, I'm gonna lead off with. I don't know if this one plays any kind of music. Let me make sure my music and stuff doesn't pipe through or will pipe through, so I can make sure that I don't get. Well, heck, I don't even get. I am not monetized on this channel for whatever reason. The Google gods don't like my channel for whatever freaking reason. Who knows? Maybe it's got the word truth in the title. That's probably it. Giants, of course, do exist, but do what? Wait, Andrea says. Giants, of course, do exist, but to what means do you prefer? Well, I'm about ready to show you something here in just a second. I'm getting that this here video up and running. And I'll show it to you here in just a second. Let me hit the present. Now, everybody's probably seen this. It's been out since probably middle of last year. This particular video. Got Andy Dawson presented this. Let me make sure I got that. There we go. I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but if I get a copyright strike for freaking audio, I don't care. It ain't like I'm losing anything. But here we go. Well, let me. Son of a gun, what's up with that? Yeah, it'll play. I've got it. Why in the world did I do that? Let's do this. USB codec is what I want. There we are. Here we go. And let me get this video up and running. I already got it primed and queued for all this stuff. So here we go. Well, come on, play. You're supposed to play when you hit play there, boys. Really? What is up with that? I can't believe that. Why is it not playing on the thing on the video? That ain't right. I'll be son of a gun. Tell you what I'm going to have to do is I've got to repopulate this thing. I remember what happened. Give me just a second. Let me see if this plays. Nope. Oh, man. Here I already populated all this stuff. That's the cool thing about it is I know where it's all at now. So give me just a second, folks. For whatever reason, my Mac just decided it didn't want to play fun with me. I promise you, I have done this before in the past. It don't look like it. John is total disappointed. Yeah, John was total disappointed. Oh my. Here we go. We got it. For whatever reason, I don't know what the heck was going on here. Here we go. This is from Andy Dawson. And let me share this out real quick so you guys can see this. Hopefully this will play now that I've got it refound on my hard drives. And here you go.
It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over.
Now let's go ahead and get this in here. Now this is up in Canada somewhere, and this guy is Andy Dawson.
And yes. 1890s, 1,000.
Whoops.
You just moved into the lead, Aaron.
Seriously? I don't want that copyright right there. Gee whiz. Of course, I was watching Jeopardy in the background before I came on live. Crazy. Yeah, that guy did disappear. But we'll go over that here in just a second.
No, seriously, pull over.
Where's that dude?
The person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, have you seen what I've seen right now?
Now, according to what I have been told, and you hear this stuff, that this guy, this this guy's friend in the car that's driving. He's not driving. This Andy Dawson. Whatever the heck that is. Let's see if I can get a little closer in there. It gets really pixelated, but that's all right. He's like a few miles away from this mountain top up there anyway. Let's see. There we go. Let's go ahead and hit that. Mountain Troll, according to John Paul. Yeah, this gets cut really into the weeds, buddy. All I can tell you is this guy gets CIA apparently comes and sees him at his front door, and a bunch of other junk. Just amazing. He actually retraces his steps and tries to find where this stuff is. Debunked him missing. Nope, he is not. He is dead. There's actually his obituary is in the paper up in Canada. I hadn't seen the obituary though, but he is dead. I haven't debunked him missing as of yet. If anybody else wants to debunk it or has it, please, say, hey, you got most of the people in here has got wrenches anyway. You can drop links and stuff. So we got Bass Mayhem in here. Hey, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. Mountain Giant. Yep, definitely. It's a mountain giant for sure. And I'm going to show you a couple other places. Apparently, this guy, let me get this. Turn around. Let's see. Aha, here we go. Here is the fellow that just did the video. Stop screen and redo this one. All right, now watch this dude's eyes. This Mr. Dawson's eyes there. Watch it.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I couldn't get around to posting and updating you guys. So now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick
Watch
update.
his eyes right here. Let me move this back here to where he's looking off in front of the camera to the side there. Somebody was, they're watching him.
Now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
All right, now, same day, I think this was on 5/12/22 when he posted this to TikTok. So give me just a second. I'll pull up his Andy Capped is the actual TikTok. No, that's the wrong one. Let's see. We're not. Okay, this it right here? Yep, right here. All right. Now, this is posted later today after, I guess, whatever was influenced him left him. So here we go. This is later today on his TikTok channel.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
So that's that dude that said they were fake just a minute ago, but that was earlier in the day from the timeline on his TikTok.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
So there you go. His videos weren't fake, but earlier today that we just saw his video, he was looking off the screen, looking at someone like he was being coerced some way, somehow, into making that video saying, hey, everything is scripted. It was just for entertainment purposes. And now he's like, nope, it was all real. Ashley says his body language, facial expressions, and the first indicated lying besides looking to the side of me. Yeah, without a doubt, there was somebody was coercing this fellow right here. Let's look at his first little bit right here. Share screen and cheers. And here we go.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update. I'm not dead. I have not disappeared. I have just been busy with life. I
Watch his eyes.
Posting and updating you guys. So now I'm going to give you an official update of what's been going on. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They're just strictly for entertainment. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I just needed to give you a quick update.
And then we just saw him saying, hey, all those videos were for real. And who was coercing him in his videos, if you go back and watch his actual TikTok, is Andy Capt. K-A-P-T is the actual thing. So what's this to right here? Hold on just a second. Let me get this, see what he's got going on here. AJK jumps in and throws something up here. Give me just a second. Let me check that out there.
Person, dude.
Let me see what he posts here. I don't want to steal somebody else's, stuff here. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and click that link and you'll probably find a better explanation of what I'm about ready to do. But he's got his girlfriend. His girlfriend actually gets on her TikTok, which is her TikTok isn't. I couldn't find her TikTok today to say I've seen it. I hadn't seen her TikTok at all. But she was crying that the CIA was after him. And he goes off into the mountains after he goes back to talk to some locals up through there. And they say, here, find this road here. Let's do this one. Hold on just a second. Turned around. There we go. And let me hit this present thing here. Go back. Share screen. Andy Capt, K-A-P-T. At Andy Capt, K-A-P-T. On his TikTok, if you want to follow along or go over there and look all the stuff up and all the timelines and stuff. There you go.
The guy's here again. Yeah, this is him. What's going on?
Road's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just turn around, please.
Okay. Have a good night, man. So that was fucked up. There he is. I'm driving past him again. Just turned around. I don't understand why it's closed off, though. It's a fucking public park or public road or whatever.
Let's see. Edward wants to know if I know how Walt is doing. I honestly do not know. I had heard Walt was sick, but other than that, I don't know how he's doing. He and I quit having conversations a couple months ago, back before the January started, back in 1st of December. Last time I ever had any words with him in email, and that was about it. Oh, wait a minute. I had forgotten something. Oh my God. I almost forgot to start this here show off at the right foot, and I started off on the wrong foot. Please forgive me, folks, but we got to backtrack here just a little bit and say a prayer. Father God, I come before you to say a prayer of thanks in your Son's holy name, Jesus Christ. I humbly ask in our Lord Jesus Christ's name that if it be in accordance with your holy will, that all curses, evil, demonic involvement, and or attacks being sent against me, my show, my followers, anyone that participates, be sent back from whence it came. Father God, please bless the following folks. Joanne, Merlin's niece, Shell and Aiden, Laura and her family, Julie and Jeff, Justin Walker, Sharon Guy, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron and Erica, AJK, Claire Ellis, Doll for spiritual support and strength. Stimulate, Jack and his children, Juanita Hicks, Lee, Kim, Amy, Beth and Kurt and their father, Wes and his dad, T. Willis, Daryl Pratt, Jose Ramirez, Judy Wheeler, Marquetta Jones and her family, Holly, Sharon Arms, Kevin, Hugo Nagy, and any other folks that have silent, unspoken prayers. Please bless Lakea and Vault as they are healing from ongoing sickness. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Folks, if you want to be a part of that particular prayer list, you can email me at chasingthetruth2018@gmail.com. Or you can text me at 931-994-6917 and get on that list, however you want to do that. If you want me to need someone to pray with you, you can call me or text me, and I'll definitely drop what I'm doing and pray with you and for you if you feel that I would be of any service to you doing that for you. So there you go, folks. Where is your audio going to be located, Big Cole? Big Cole's got Big Cole said he was going to start his own show, man. Yeah, definitely. Anytime you need a little bit of promotion, Big Cole, you just go right at, buddy. You can send it to me and I'll promote you up, buddy. Free of charge, no questions asked. You have been a friend to me for sure all day long. So this particular guy, I can't share this one out because this is probably very copywritten because this is somebody else's work. I can't do AJK. I appreciate you dropping that link in the chat. And if you want to find AJK's link where he linked to a better rendition of what I'm about ready to tell you of this particular fellow's story where he got I am assuming he got followed. I'm sure he got followed from what I understand. He definitely got followed. Let me find that. Where is that? There we go. Giants. Nope. Hold on just a second. I kind of screwed up a little bit before I went live, and I knocked my hard drives offline for whatever reason. It just got nuts. But this guy, Mr. Dawson, Andy Dawson, posted this back in the middle of last year. Whatever this is, stop screen. Let me get the screen thing going on. Yeah. Window. There we go. Giant stuff. And I'm all.
There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, have you seen what I seen right now?
Brown Dwarf, what's up, brother? I ain't seen you in a hot minute. Let's go back here and then move in and check out this thing. I know it's going to get pixelated when I do this, but heck, all you get. Right there's that dude. Whatever that thing is. Now, later on, if you go look at Mr. Dawson's TikTok, he has where he went to, into town that was right below that peak there. And apparently something had been moved on top of it. It looked like some sort of building, but that's definitely not a building, that's for sure. Definitely not a building. And Chaos Theory Productions is in the house. What's going on with you? I ain't seen you in a hot minute, brother. Yes, indeed, that story is crazy, GNA. I can't complain with that at all. So there you go. Now, this particular fellow, apparently he had been followed, been harassed. I've seen some videos where there was a black car outside of his front door, and he runs out and it speeds off. Listening from work, yeah, buddy. Okay, cool. No problem. No problem whatsoever. I appreciate you dropping in. Please like and share this out if you would, folks. If you feel the need and think that I'm doing a good enough job to, share and like this out, I would appreciate it. But there you go. Anybody got an addition to, hold on just a second, what I got here? Yep, I definitely need to post this. Hold on just a second. Thank you. I can show stuff all day long. Yeah, I know I can show stuff all day long. Let me share this one. Share screen and go here. And let's, what to do with it? Holy smokums. What do I do with all this stuff? I've got too many freaking windows open, but here we are. And let me get this thing up here and running. There we go. Share that out. There you go. Just to show you that, in the United States, we have a federal law that allows us as citizens to reproduce and distribute or exhibit for following purposes: fair use clause, criticism, reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. So there you go. Just to pop that out. Criticism, news report, and teaching. I'm not trying to teach you. I'm not trying to parody this thing. Just news reporting on the son of a gun. There you are. So next up, what we're going to talk about: giants are abound. I have heard so many giants stories. If you want to call in at 931-994-6917 or send me a text message that way, make sure I got this stuff up and running, and it's not going to bust my eardrums if somebody can. Nope, it's not going to. There you go. I've had that happen. Let's see. Who have I missed that has popped into the chat right now? Let me go ahead and... Really? Seriously? Did I? Oh my sweet stars and bars. What did I do that for? I'm telling you, folks, if I didn't have a head that was screwed on just right, I would have popped on without a head on right now. Did that come out right? That did come out right, but you know what I was talking about. Oh my. Let me get to this one. There we go. And I got to hit this so it doesn't pop up. Oh, yeah. All right. That's cool. And then pop that chat out. I don't know why in the world I knocked that offline. Get overlay. There we are. Hot dogs. Now I'm up and running with Crisco. Aha. Let's see. We got AJK. Arlene's in house. Sue. Again, Bass Mayhem. Mike's in the house over there. Appreciate you dropping in. Big Cole, of course. Gil. Brown Dwarf. Casual GNA's in the house. Chaos Theory Productions. Gene, Julie, Just Curious, Keith, Sheldon, Stacy, and Sugar Bridges, and whoever else may drop in or whatever. Welcoming in all the people have the little blue wrenches. Crazy as it is. Now, I know that my wrenches are kind of thick and deep, but I appreciate each and every one of you that has participated enough to where, heck, if you've been in my show and seen me quite enough and been participating, I don't mind giving you a wrench. That's for sure. So next up, what we're going to do, since I've kind of run out of steam with this, hold on just a second. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. I had to hack up something real quick. Apologize. Obviously, you didn't need to hear that. That was, we can hear you. Yeah, I can. Hopefully, you're not hearing me cough my lungs out. So, there you go. Hopefully, you didn't hear that. Gee whiz, I thought I cut that off. Good Lord. Stream virtual. Yeah, you shouldn't have heard that. Oh, it was just I had to I thought I cut myself off. Holy cow. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get that up. My mic needs to. I apologize. I don't know why in the hell that came up like that. Give me just a second. What? Who is it that? Yeah. Oh, no wonder. I had the wrong freaking microphone on. Holy smokes! There we go. There we go. All right, we've got a caller on the line. Give me just a second, caller, and we'll get you on here. I apologize. Lord, that was a heck of a thing. Hey, who's on the line there? What's your name? Where are you from?
How you doing? My name's Jay. I'm from Jersey.
Hey, Jay, what's going on, buddy?
I'm all right.
So, what's good with you tonight? What you got to talk about tonight?
I was actually calling about the red eyes.
The red eyes. Okay, what about the red eyes?
Well, I called it last time, and I thought it was a tree. I thought it was like a big square tree. So I went in like 2 weeks ago. I went in. And I said, well, my neighbor's son. I went in because I told my neighbor's son, he's like 14 or 12. And he's like, let's go in there. I really didn't want to, but he went in. He's crazy, and then I wouldn't want to let him go in there himself. So then I went in too.
All right. So anything happened outside of that? That story you told about the red eyes a few weeks ago. I remember that. I remember that story. Yeah.
And there's actually an indent behind it. There's like a little hill behind that, and there was like a tree that was like they could bent over or kind of like torn down a little bit, but not fully on the ground. And it had like under the roof, it had like a little hut, like a little place where he fit in there perfect. And if he had like a little pet dog, it would have fit in perfect too. But I tried to squeeze in there, and I was just too big unless I went on all fours. And if I would have went on all fours, I would have fit in.
Oh wow! So what did you think the red eyes were attached to? Was it a dogman, a skinwalker? What was it?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know it was big. It was big and square. Big square and jet black.
Big square and jet black. I apologize. Oh wow, man! So how long ago was this?
Oh, this was like last year, around I'm gonna say August. Around August. It was like maybe like 90 degrees or 80 or close to 90. And at first it looked like it was gonna rain, and it was overcast to like 12:30, 1 o'clock. But when I got there, nobody was there because it looked like it was gonna rain all day. But it was hot, so I ain't really care about the rain. I love going fishing, so I go fishing. I used to go fishing like every other day over there.
Okay.
And I would fish in thunderstorms. I would fish, I just love fishing.
Was there any smell around that sighting?
And there was no smells.
Okay.
But I found a tree. I found a tree with 3 claw marks in it. Like I'm talking about deep claw marks, and they were like, I'm gonna say about 9 feet, maybe 9 feet high. Yeah, 9 feet high, because I'm 6'6", 350 pounds. I'm 6'6", 350, and I barely reached where the claw marks was at.
Wow. So did you see any other signs besides those claw marks on the tree? Like there's some stories that I have been told where these Bigfoot or whatever, get around and they grab a hold of Coke can size, girth size tree limbs and just twist them to, either get rid of frustration or whatever, or mark their territory. Have you seen anything like that?
Oh yeah, that's all over the place, man. Like you go there and you literally see it all over the place. Like in spots, sometimes you see in next to that, you'll see like a boulder with a smaller boulder, and then a little boulder, and then a pebble on top. And it's like so weird because it looked like nobody would, would do something like that. Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
And another time, this is like 10 minutes away from that reservoir. 10 minutes away from that reservoir, there's a pond, and in that pond, there's definitely something there. I don't know what it is, but you can see the same structures that they got over there. And one time I was with my cousin. I was with my two cousins, and we were fishing. And he says, 15 minutes more, and we're out of here because it's getting late already.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, yeah, 15 more minutes, we out. Soon as he said that, 3 minutes later, this growl came out from the back. I'm talking about like a weird, screechy growl. And they all looked at me, and we looked at each other, and they just started running out. They just started running out. They didn't say nothing. We just looked at each other. I looked at them like, what was that? And then they just started running. Mind you, my cousin had a cane. He had fell in that same area right there, and he hobbled and ran out of there with the cane and everything. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't run out because I can't really run. I got a bad leg. I almost lost it, so I can't really run.
All right.
So I just took my buoy out, and I walked out of there looking all over the place. And in my mind, I was thinking, if you want a piece of me, I'm gonna give you a piece, but you're not gonna get away scot clean. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to give this thing a zipper if I could.
Bass Mayhem in the chats want to know how close you are to this tri-state border. Jay, can you hear me?
To the border?
Yeah, tri-state
to
border.
The tri-state border?
Yeah, how close are you?
Jeez, that was that was in Oakland actually. Where I was at, it was a reservoir near Heldon, and then like 10 minutes away, it was Oakland, and it's a little pond. It's a little pond in Oakland. It's what you don't understand is that the front pond, when you first look at it, you got a little parking spot and there's a front pond, and you think, oh, it's just a little pond, and then if you can cross the little stream on the other side, there's another pond, and back is like hidden away, and you will never see it. It's crazy. It's bigger than the first pond. And then next to that, there's a children's daycare school. Like literally, like I seen a path in some bushes. It looked like how a game trail path will be a certain width. But this thing was looking like, it looked like people were traveling through it. So I said, maybe that's a pathway to somewhere else. And literally, it was to the back of the children's school. It's crazy, right next to the woods.
So Bass asked, how close are you to the Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey border?
Oh, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, maybe about 2 hours away, maybe.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
And
awesome.
that same place, I was with my cousin, and he had bought a fire starter kit, like a little thing to make a fire.
All right.
So he wanted to try it out. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, just try to make a in-ground fire, like try to dig a little hole out, then make another hole, and then so that way nobody will see the fire from, and we won't get in no trouble because you're not really supposed to make a fire,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So he go ahead, he lays down on the ground, literally lays down on the ground and starts to make his fire. And he makes the fire, and about 5 minutes in to him making the fire, a giant freaking log comes flying through the freaking trees, because there's a mountain, not really a mountain, more like a hill, and we were in the bottom of the hill. And at first I thought it was a squirrel because you know how a squirrel sounds when it jumps from tree to tree, and you can hear it make that sound. So at first I thought it was a squirrel until it came crashing on the ground, and you felt the thump. Actually, you could feel the thump from the stub. It threw a big tree stub out. So man, I get freaked out talking about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Is there any other sightings of this black, whatever it is with red eyes, that you know of besides you?
Besides,
has anybody witnessed this? When you witnessed it, did anybody witness it with you? Has any other folks seen
my cousin,
this?
I had my cousin with me the first time I seen I actually had my two cousins witnessed it with me. Actually, my first cousin saw it up on a tree, and he said it was a bear. But I told him I don't think bears have red glowing eyes. Usually, if you flash light at their eyes, they usually glow back like a orangey or a green, not red, not glowing red like that, you know. And he said, I don't know what it is, but let's get the fuck out of here. And we left because the police was at the park ranger was at the parking lot. You know, it was like closing time, and he was escorting people out.
Have you ever heard of the Bridgewater Triangle up in Massachusetts, southeastern
You know
Massachusetts?
what? I never heard of that, but I got family up there.
Okay. All right. There's a paranormal kind of supernatural triangle where it's called Bridgewater, and there's a lot of Bigfoot, Dogman, ghost sightings. You name it. Anything that I would cover would be up through there. Yeah, there'd be all kinds of crazy stuff up through there in the Bridgewater area.
That's another thing where I saw the red eyes at was the next day I went back and I put two jars of peanut butter with honey inside of it, and I crazy glued the jar. And I sealed it tight, and I put glue inside the jar, so if someone had to open it, you know, had to be pretty strong. And I left marshmallows and 2 jars of peanut butter, marshmallows, and some gummies. I forgot the name of the gummies, man. They were like sour gummies.
Oh wow! Okay.
And
what happened the next when you returned after you left the? Why did you leave that? First off, why did you leave a jar full of peanut butter and honey and gummies and stuff? Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to see if in my mind I said if it's a bear, he's gonna rip this jar up and he's gonna leave. You know, he's gonna chew it all up. He's gonna make a mess. If it's a bear, but if it's something else, something has to have thumbs to you know. But I just wanted to see like what would happen, you know. So 2 weeks, I let 2 weeks go by. I didn't go back for 2 weeks, and I went back with my neighbor next door. And I go back with my neighbor, and I tell my neighbor before we get there in the car, I tell him I said, yo, I left some stuff over there where I saw the red eye because I had an experience with him too there in that same spot where we were talking, and all of a sudden we hear like a thump behind us, and we felt the thump. We didn't hear it, we heard it, and we felt it with the vibrations in our feet.
Thump on the ground. Where was the thump from? Was it on the ground? Something jumped on the ground, or was it on a vehicle or building?
Well, we were in the spot where in the woods where I saw the red eyes, and with the reservoirs that we were by the reservoir where I saw the red eyes, and we were talking, and all of a sudden it's like if you could imagine Incredible Hulk jumping off a tree and landing on the ground, you know that sound like that, like something heavy just hit hard, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? Like, I know it's something not light and little, it had to be something heavy. So we looked at each other, freaked out, like, yo, you want to turn around? Well, I wanted to, or do you want to turn around? And I said, we'll both turn around at the count of 3, because I had a hand lamp on too, because it was getting dark. So we turned around, and I turned the headlamp on, and I scanned through the woods, and all I see is the shadows from the pines
Hmm. Do you know where the Pine Barrens are?
Yeah, I know where the Pine Barrens are. They're maybe like 2 hours away.
Okay, so wow, you're right in the middle of a lot of places that have a lot of interesting stuff happening. Good Lord. So, does that place have a history where you're living and seeing these in black shadow individuals with their eyes?
Actually, you know what? When I was younger, I used to go there all the time with my father and my uncle. We used to go, I was like maybe like 10 years old. We used to go there, and I still go there till to this day. And one day, I told my father, across from where we were fishing at, there's a little. Oh, they got bridges now that you can cross now, but before that, there were no bridges. You literally have to go in the water and cross. And I seen the tree moving, and there was no wind. It was a hot day that day, I saw it. I looked up to where I saw the tree moving, and I swear to you, it looked like a black hairy face with freaking eyes. I mean, that's all I saw was like a black face with a hairy face with eyes, with big black eyes. And I told my father, and my father said, "Oh, the imagination. That probably was a bird, but they're drunk. They're drinking. I mean, they're getting blasted, and it's crazy." But I never put mind to. Maybe I said to myself, I was young. I said maybe it was a bird.
Hmm. Wow.
But it used to happen all the time when we used to go fishing, or when I was younger. And now
Well,
is
how big was this
crazy.
bird you were talking about? Was this a large bird? There's legends of thunderbirds and whatnot.
No, it wasn't a bird.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, my father.
Okay.
My father said, "Oh, My father told me I probably saw a bird, but because I told him what I saw, it looked like a human, but like with a bear, but a human bear. It was so weird. I don't know how to describe it. I was like, it was so weird. Right at the top of the tree, like literally, like it was like peeking like right in the gap of a tree. It was peeking through, and the face had to be about maybe like I'm gonna say almost 2 feet wide. It was a big face.
2 feet. The face was 2 feet wide, or was the shoulders 2 feet wide on this thing?
Like the actual head. I guess the head. Because when I looked up, I was young, and I might be, putting an over exaggeration side on it. But when I was, I was maybe like 11 years old, and I look up and I see what looked like almost like I'm gonna say because the gap looked like 3 feet, and there was a little bit of space in between. It was crazy.
Wow.
I don't know, but it's just a bunch of stuff, man. Like one time I go fishing I got a couple spots in the reservoir where I usually catch giants at. So I go to this one spot and start fishing. And I start fishing, and all of a sudden I get a weird smell, and I start looking around, and I look up on a tree, and in the tree there's I don't know if you know what a pike is, a northern pike.
Yeah, I've
But
caught some of those things. Yeah, definitely. Nothing but
There
teeth.
was about a yeah, they're like little chihuahuas.
Right on.
There was a 3 foot pike, a 3 foot northern pike, spiked onto the tree about 10 feet up the tree because I couldn't reach it. I tried to reach it to take it out, but I couldn't reach it. It was like 10 feet up. It was piked. It was 3 feet long, and it looked like something chewed like most of the back off of it. It was so weird, man. And like mostly the meat from the back was gone, but it was piked through a stump of a tree. It piked it right through the eye.
Wow. So let's go back to this creature, this shadow creature that had red eyes. Now, did this thing float above the ground? If I'm trying to picture the story that I was told in my head, was this one that floated? Oh, okay.
I don't think he was floating. I think he was standing up behind where I thought he was. It was just standing there. I think he was standing up because behind it it was an indent about like literally like I'm 6'5" and I couldn't see over the indent, so the indent had to be about maybe like 8.5 feet up.
Wow. That's a so how massive was this thing? Was it you 8 feet up? How wide was it? What do you think it
Oh,
weighed?
shoot. It was like I'm gonna say it was 4.5 to 5 feet wide, and it looked like a square half a tree. If you could imagine a burnt half a tree, or if you took a brown tarp and you square it off and you hang it on a doorway, you know how it would look if you look at it. It looked like that, except what the tree I was looking at that day was all black. I thought it was a burnt tree, and it had hit leaves and twigs, like hanging off it. So that's why I thought it was a half a tree, a burnt half a tree, because it had leaves and twigs and stuff hanging off it. So I started walking towards it to scrape some off, and that's when I heard that freaking low lion rumble growl that you can literally feel it in your fucking chest, like. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw the red eyes come out, and I said, "What the fuck?" And I looked up at the sun. I said, "Well, maybe since the sun's coming out now, maybe it's the sun coming through, and there's a hole in the tree, and maybe there's leaves stuck in the tree, and then they're catching on the, they're catching the light." And then this thing starts blinking, slowly starts to fucking blink. I'm talking about slow blinking is the only way I could say it was doing. It was blinking in slow motion. Like.
Wow. So did it growl? Did it make any noises? Did it put the fear of death in you, or did you want to run away from this thing, or what?
When I was walking towards it, all I was thinking about was scraping some of the material off the trees and some of the ground, some of the soil, get some of the dirt from my plants. That's all I was thinking about till I heard that growl, and then I froze. Is what happened. I froze and I started looking at to where I heard the growl, and it was at that half a tree, that burnt tree. And I just kept staring at it, like trying to make sense of like what the fuck is going on. But
Wow.
I didn't feel like oh, I'm gonna die. Like I didn't feel like that. I heavily believe in God. I believe if I talk to him on a daily, me and God, we had prayer sessions. I talk to him every day. Every time I go fishing, before I start fishing, I kneel down and I say a little prayer.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's with me. So I really don't fear nothing actually when I'm fishing. And I stay calm and I stay cool and nothing bothers me because I know he's there and I'm always alert, and I never push the envelope.
Wow. So have you seen anything that was odd fishing along the banks?
Actually, one time I was with my cousin, the same cousin I'm always going with. I'm always going with my cousin. Me and him, we used to go fishing every weekend, and we're fishing, and across from us, I say about 70 feet, but it's the part of the lake across from us, right? It's part of the lake that's connected to another lake that goes. It's a huge reservoir, and 70 feet from us, he says, "Hey, yo, cuz, what's that dog doing over there on that side?" Because people, it's a hard spot to get to. You would have to like go all the way around just to get to that spot, and then it's mad poison ivy, and it's just a crazy spot to really go into. And he says, "Oh, what's that dog doing over there?" And I looked up, and I said, "Bro, that's not a fucking dog. This thing looked like a hyena mixed with I don't know with a hyena mixed with a jackal, or it looked so weird, man. Like it had the little black spots. It had the big black hyena ears, and it was like a brownish, reddish, brownish, goldish. Oh, I don't know how to describe it, man. And the paws from the paw to his, like, let's say to his elbow, it was solid black.
Wow.
And it looked at us, and I looked at it, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "if I catch a fish, I got you, buddy." And he just stood there looking at me like I don't know, man. Like he stood there looking at me for about, like, I'm gonna say 10 seconds. Like it just froze there looking at us, and then it just turned around and left.
Wow. So this was an animal, definitely. It wasn't anything else other than an animal with on all fours.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like a hyena mixed with I don't know, with a jackal was what it looked like.
A hyena mixed with a jackal.
And that same spot, same spot where I seen the hyena mixed with a jackal, because you know how hyenas have the big ears, and they have like some brown spots. I don't know if they have brown spots, but this thing had the hyena color with the black spots on the side. But that same spot where I seen that at, one day it's like 8:30 in the morning, and I start fishing there, and I start hearing like someone trying to whistle, like if they're trying to whistle, but they can't whistle. You know, and so I started whistling the Andy the show. I forgot the name of the show. I forgot if it was the Andy Dick show, the black and white show from way back in the day.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I got distracted there for just a second. I apologize.
So when this thing was trying to whistle, I started to whistle that I forgot the name of the show. It's an old black and white show with the guy from the Three's Company, the Ropers, and Matlock.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar, but I just can't place it.
So
are you talking like a Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is like old school. It's an old black and white TV show. Andy Griffith.
Oh, Andy Griffith. Okay, I got you. Andy Griffith.
You know how that whistle theme is?
Yeah,
I started whistling that. I started whistling that theme, and then I would stop, and it would go again. It would try to whistle, but it couldn't whistle.
Wow.
And I was trying to pinpoint it to where I heard it, but I really couldn't see nothing because all the trees and all the bushes, it's just, in the summer, it's really bushy.
So has anything followed you home from when you spotted this stuff? Have you had any activity that just like, oh, that's kind of weird?
I mean, I really don't go straight home after we're done fishing. We usually go like to we usually go somewhere to eat, or we go to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
But we never go straight home.
Okay, so you kind of mess with how you don't go straight home. You just go to some out of the place like Walmart or KFC or someplace.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I got you.
Oh, but remember I was telling you about the peanut butter jars? I put the crazy glue around them.
Yeah, what become of that? Yeah.
Oh shit! I went back like 2 weeks later with my neighbor because he wanted. I told him about it, and he was interested too. And I had showed him the footage I had on my GoPro, and then he was the one that told me maybe you should put that on YouTube. And I tried to save it, and I end up erasing all of my footage, everything. The whole freaking car got erased.
Holy cow!
I should have just waited for my son to get home. Oh, I see the picture of that thing you got on the TV.
Is that what
It
you
looked
saw?
just like that. Yeah, it looked just like that, man. Except it had black from the paw, from the foot to where, like, let's say where you would see like that little ankle joint at. It was black.
It was black from the ankles up or black from ankles down?
From the paw, from the front paw, from his toes to where his little ankle, that little ankle joint is at.
Hold on a second. I got another image for you here. Give me just a second.
And the ears were black, but it was just like that.
Hold on just a second. Let's do this right here. How about that? Is that a little closer? Should pop up in the next 20 seconds, 30 seconds or something like that for you.
Oh shit. Yeah, but not the stripes. And they have the stripes. Or maybe it did have the stripes and I thought they were dots. Yeah, it was just like that. With the ears were black. Yeah, just like that.
Holy cow. Now, how big was this creature, whatever it is?
I want to say it was maybe about the size of if I have to relate it to a dog, I would say it was about the size of a retriever.
Okay. Wow. So it looks like that, but the ears was black.
Yeah, the ears were black.
Okay. I got you. Let me see if I can get this a little bit. Change the color up a little bit. See if I can do this a little bit for you here. Maybe. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, depending on the... Nope, I can't do it. Son of a gun. Let's do this.
With the same face, man. Same face with the blackish muzzle looking a little like that.
Mm-hmm.
Black ears, the black paws.
Right. Oh, here we go. I might be able to
It
do
even had the little spike like that on the hump of his neck. It had a little, like the hair were like that.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I got another one for you. Hold on just a second. Let's do this one. Let me get rid of this rascal. Pop this on here and see. There you go. See if that looks anything like that. It just popped up on the screen.
Oh,
should be there.
Yeah, just like that, bro.
Just like that, but
just like that, but without not all the stripes.
Just not all the stripes. Holy cow. Let's see. We got Huge Evil Dog, according to Amy. And then we got, let's see. Jean-Paul says, looks like half jackal, half fox. Well, fox isn't that big in the wild.
Yeah, I don't think fox. I had told the ranger I seen this, and the ranger said, well, it probably was a fox in the rut. And I was like, well, I don't think foxes get that big. And he kept insisting it had to be a fox.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
But the jars of peanut butter they were open and it was lit clean. The marshmallows were gone.
So they weren't broken. The jars weren't broken. They were actually opened. The cans were open. Okay.
I actually found the jar and the can. I found the jar, the lids and the jar, and they were lit like clean. There was nothing in there. Like it was like something licked it freaking clean, and no marks, no kind of marks on it. And the wrapper, the candies, they were ripped. Candies were gone. The marshmallows, I didn't see the bag. They must have took the whole bag of marshmallows. I didn't see. Wow. I didn't see no sign of the marshmallows.
That's an impressive story. So, The ranger thought it was a fox.
A fox in the rut is what he told me, but I told him I see foxes all the time, and they never look that big to me out here. Like I see them all the time. I see foxes, bobcats, coyotes.
Do you recall the ears plainly? Were they rounded or were they pointy?
No, the ears, they were just like the way those ears are, but black.
But black,
like the
same way.
color as the muzzle.
Wow. And this happened in the middle of Pennsylvania. What state did this happen in again?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
New Jersey.
Wow. That's interesting to tell, without a doubt.
Another time I had left. I didn't have a lot with me, and I had left 2 tangerines, 2 apples, 2 tangerines, 2 apples, and a pack of, I think it was a pack of Skittles or Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces, yeah, it was a pack of Reese's Pieces. And this was like, I'm gonna say 3 days I left it, right? And I go back 3 days later, and I'm fishing, and I swear to you, something fucking threw the tangerine at me. Like at first I thought it was a squirrel, maybe dropped a pine cone or whatever.
Mm.
And I say, let me see if I find that fucking pine cone, because I usually save a couple of pine cones in my backpack in case I gotta start to make a fire, because they light up so easy. So I go look for I thought it was a pine cone, because it felt, because when a pine cone gets nice size, they get they got like a nice weight to them. So I thought it was a pine cone, so I go look, and
which
it's a
county
tangerine.
were you in? Which county were you in?
Oh, I was the one. I was in by the reservoir.
Yeah, which county up in New Jersey were you in this?
Oh, that's in Heldon.
Heldon?
Okay. Oh, it's close to Oakland, actually.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So what happened to the jar that you said tangerine was your last comment?
Oh, I had left when I seen it had cleared out the peanut butter jars and took the marshmallows and ate the candy. I had left the next time I had left, all I had with me was 2 tangerines, 2 apples, and a pack of Reese's Pieces, peanut butter Reese's Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I left that, and then 3 days later I go back. 3 days later I go back, but I wasn't thinking about going to that spot right away. I usually fish first, and then if I see it's kind of slow, I'll go see what's going on over there. And I start fishing, and then I thought a freaking pine cone had fell from a tree, and I said I was gonna leave, go to another spot and check, what my luck was in a different spot. And then I said, let me get that pine cone, and maybe I could use it later to make a little fire and do a catch and cook. Because sometimes I do catch and cooks. If I get a little hungry, I'll take a little portable stove with me and a little frying pan and some butter and stuff.
Oh man, that is the best stuff. The first time I ever watched somebody do catch and cook, I was doing some trout fishing, and my dad's best friend caught a few trout, and he was so fast with filleting. He filleted those fish up just like that. He threw the carcasses in the water, and they tried to swim off. It was that quick. I'm like, holy cow. But that was so good. Oh my sweet God, that was good stuff.
Yeah, I beat them out before I fillet them. I like to bleed them out, and then I'll quickly fillet them and make sure that there's no bones in that fillet whatsoever. You can put it in a nice roll. Some cheese, some tartar sauce, some lettuce, some tomato.
Oh man! Now I don't have anything to make that. You just made me hungry, man. I was planning on making like a little quick pizza after this thing. Now I've got to figure out how I can satiate that. I want to do that fish fry thing. I can't do that. Gee whiz, man. All right, well that's interesting. But Jay, I appreciate you calling in, brother. It has been a pleasure. I don't know what the heck you saw. Maybe a skinwalker, maybe some. I don't know what that hyena thing was. I'm honestly. Does anybody know if there's any hyenas up in New Jersey area? I don't know. Don't know. But definitely, I don't think it was a fox from what you told me. Well, it couldn't have been a fox.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked just like the one on the TV right now. It looked just like that, but the paws were black and the ears were solid black. Like just like that, that same face with those, it looked like just there, just staring at you, like it wanted to talk to you, but it couldn't talk. It's so weird.
Oh man, well, that is a creepy story, brother. Anytime you want to call back in, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, man. You have a blessed one and a great new year, bro.
Oh, I definitely will be. My new year changed a little bit, but I'm definitely going to have a great year for sure. God bless me and bless those that are with me. I appreciate it. But you have a blessed one, and anytime you want to call in, you're more than welcome, RJ. Appreciate you, brother.
Have a good one, man. Good night.
Thank you. Appreciate you. God bless. Jay from New Jersey just called in. I appreciate him calling in. That was an amazing little story. What do you think that was with the red eyes, big 8-foot tall shadow, whatever, black shadow? What do you think that was? I don't know what the heck he was talking about with a hyena. Let's see. I got a text message. Hold on just a second. We got there's no hyenas in Jersey, according to Laura from text message. That's definitely, I didn't think they would be, but you know, I would assume that there was a maybe some zoos or something. You think that there may be a zoo or some sort of rare pet breeder, or somebody just wound up and released a hyena mix into the wild. I don't know. I do not know. And Sheldon jumps in with Squatch, maybe. Red eyes. Does Squatch have red eyes? Maybe. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But let's see. We got, I had a weird experience in the 80s, but didn't see it. I only heard the howling. Really? Well, Amy, you'll have to call in and let us know about that one. If you would. If you want to call in, 931-994-6917, or you can text me a story, which I have read stories that have been texted out. I don't know why how in the world do you guys do that? Write an entire story out in text message. That would just drive me nuts, unless you got a Bluetooth keyboard to your phone or whatever. Or if you do it like me, I've got everything routed through my MacBook, so I can text and whatnot through my MacBook. So that's easy enough for me to type. But oh, wait a minute, I got one for you. Hold on just a second. We got a caller. Give me just a second, caller. We'll get you live on air and patch you in here. You're live on air. What's your name and where you're from?
This is Mr. D Knuckles, Dave. How you doing?
Dave, what's going on, brother? I ain't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, I've been watching on the TV. I ain't been watching it on the computers. I haven't been interacting. But I figured I'd call in tonight. We're talking about giants.
Yep.
And everybody remembers the story about the giant of Kandahar, right? Where they killed that one over there. Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers whenever old Hillary's private server got hacked, and they were talking about Trump and all that craziness.
Oh, they're still
trying. Well, also on that private server, there was a conversation recorded between Hillary and a special forces op that was over there around Baghdad, and they were looking for the body of Gilgamesh. And the reason they needed that body is because they have all this giant DNA from this giant that they killed, but they can't do anything with it. And if you know the story of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh was Nimrod's grandson. And according to the epic, he had 3 parents, a human mother, a human father, and something else. And I think old Hillary thought if they could get his body, his DNA, and see how they combined it, then they could do the same thing with this giant's DNA and beef up their super soldier program.
All right.
But I didn't know if y'all were aware of that. That was on Hillary's server.
That was on Hill. I did not see that from Hillary's server. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, or if it was. But
you know, we all the time look down on Hitler about all the esoteric stuff and all the stuff that Hitler did. Our government's worse. When it comes to biblical archaeology, or if it comes to giants or things of witchcraft, we've got all that stuff hoarded. We're, you know, us and the Vatican, we've got the biggest collections in the world right now, I believe.
Well, I dare say you're pretty close to right on the nail head on that one. That's just, there is a video of Gilgamesh, a giant, and it's been reported as Gilgamesh or some other place, and I've seen that video be repurposed, rebranded as something Gilgamesh. But that was the first time I ever saw it. It was reported as being filmed off of an Apollo mission on the moon. And
see, this is what gets me about Gilgamesh. You know, Gilgamesh, that's 4,000 years ago.
Yep.
And his body did not decay. It's like, you know, and of course, according to the epic, he had that DNA. Enki done a number on him and fixed him up. So I don't know.
Well, if it's related to the fallen angels.
Yeah, well, you know, there was tons of true Nephilim DNA all over the earth after the flood. In fact, whenever old Ham got kicked out, and Noah drove him down out the mountains, and he went down there on the plain. He's going to start his little city there. He started watching his children and looking at his children. And children born after the flood were not the same caliber of those that came through the flood. You know, they didn't live as long, they weren't as strong, they weren't as big, and he wanted that back. He wanted his people to be, you know, like it was before. So he makes a deal with a demon. The demon's name is Enki. And according to the Sumerian text, Enki came to him through a portal. Now, Enki's a goat man. I don't know if you ever seen pictures of Pan. He's got the goat legs and the horns and stuff. That's what Enki looked like. Well, Enki did something to Nimrod. We don't know what he did, because Nimrod became a mighty hunter. I don't know if he put DNA in him or something. He didn't start off a mighty hunter. He didn't start off like that. But as Nimrod grew up, you know, old Ham had Enki do something with Nimrod. So old Nimrod, he's kind of a mixed bag there, became that mighty hunter. And then Nimrod decides that, you know, he's the cat's meow. He starts writing these little scrolls, send them up the mountain to the king of Aratu, who is Mountain of Ararat. That's where Noah was staying. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, grandfather, your majesty, come down, look, see how great I am. Of course, Noah don't write back. So the second time, you know, he writes back, yeah, I'm great and I'm wonderful, and you ought to come and build a statue to me and come down and worship me and all sorts of stuff. Still nothing. No one will say a word. So then he writes back again. He's like, well, if you won't come to me, I'll come to you, and I'll bring my armies, and I'll do this, and I'll do that. I'll enslave your people, and your blood will run down the mountain, and all sorts of stuff. Now Noah writes back. Noah says, who are you? You little flea, you. Who are you? He said, I walked with the living God. I came through the deluge. I cursed Canaan. He said, now I'm going to curse you. He said, you're all your royal robes. He said, get rid of them. Put on sackcloth. Throw that crown away and put the ashes upon your head, because it's coming. And that's when God went down there and confused the languages. Nimrod's all his greatness fell to nothing. But Anyway, I thought you might want to know about that Gilgamesh deal on Hillary's private server. I wonder, there's probably a whole lot more on that server that we don't know about. Just hasn't made the airways yet. But,
well, I would like to, I would say somebody's got a thumb drive with those servers on that.
What's the name? The WikiLeaks guy? He's got all that. He's the one that releases it a little bit at a time.
I kind of wonder if he is not. I know they used him as a scapegoat, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that dude from UK, what was his name, that hacked into the NASA servers because everybody had their password as password.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing for him. All he had to have was find the backbone to get into the NASA servers and just randomly put in password is password.
It's amazing, and you take somebody who should have known better, that should have been on an encrypted server. She had no business with that thing in the bedroom, but I guess she was keeping records for herself in case her own people ever turned on her. She'd have something to go with.
She was the same one that had all those Blackberries and just left them out willy-nilly and then said, well, I'm going to destroy this Blackberry with a hammer and pop, pop, pop. And that's good. Yeah, it's good. Oh, come on, man. To borrow our current president's vernacular. Come on, man.
As well connected as she is, you'd think she'd know better.
You think she'd know better.
You can take a cell phone and, put it in a fire and almost melt it. And there's a hacker out there who can still get information off of that thing. So hitting it with a hammer ain't gonna do a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. Hillary definitely had a lot of issues with, she liked to sell secrets and she liked to collect that money. And oh yeah. So
and as well I understand, she liked little girls too.
Well, you can't say that anything that has to do with the P word, or we automatically get kicked off or whatever. But
she wasn't a nice person.
She was not a nice person for sure. I'd hate to be her once it's time for her to meet God.
I don't think she's heading that direction, brother.
She's got to be judged. She has to be judged, man.
That's true.
She has to be judged. All of us have to do that.
I'm glad to see you're putting out the shows, though. You had me kind of nervous when you said, "Oh, we got to regroup." I figured there wouldn't be no Sean for a month or two, but back on that horse you got.
Well, I thanks to a few people. Let's see, we got Shaw in the chat there, Laura, and a bunch of other people, Julie, and my other friend, Bonita. All of them said, "Hey, are you going to do a show like last Wednesday?" And I was like, or Saturday, one of those two. Are you going to do a show? And I was like, nah, I better not. I don't really feel it, kind of deal. And then, one thing led after another. And I said, what's keeping me from doing another show? And I was like, nothing. I got internet.
Like I said,
I got the ability to do it.
You are undoubtedly going to be the next Art Bell. I think the only one needs convincing of that is you.
Well, I have been told that. I don't think putting my name in the same breath as Art Bell does anything for me. I am not of that same caliber. Give it a year or two.
Give it a year or two. People are going to be saying, "You remember Art Bell? Yeah, he was. He was almost as good as that Sean Graham guy." That kind of thing.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. I really do.
Yeah, brother, I'm going to go ahead and get off this thing and let y'all alone, but I figured I'd let everybody know that little piece of information about old Gilgamesh. And
well,
just let you know that I'm so glad you're still here.
Oh, I'm glad I'm here too. God has blessed me. He's kind of kicked me in the rear end saying, "Hey, buddy, you still haven't finished your promise for me." So here I am. All I said was God put it before me what path I need to travel, and He certainly has. I may not like it sometimes.
I can probably speak for about 90% of your audience, but as long as you're here, we'll be here with you.
Well, I appreciate it, Dave. I really do. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the call. You blessed me.
You have a wonderful night, brother.
Oh, well, I appreciate you. God bless you there, Dave. Mr. D Knuckle in the chat there.
Bye-bye.
All right. D Knuckle, and I gotta, yeah, I saw that, Laura. Laura said, "There's no." Hold on just a second. I will repeat this because I agree with you, Laura, with this one. So give me just a second. Said, "I ain't never going to compare anyone to Art Bell." Ha ha ha. I'm with you the same way. I'm with you. Art Bell and my name don't need to be in the same breath as Art Bell's, but. Art Bell, there's not going to be someone who's going to be able to repeat what he did for the industry. Definitely. But, Anki was definitely had fallen DNA with him in him for sure. Oh, I appreciate that. All I can tell you is I do what I have to do to complete my promise to God. And my promise was to share what gifts he has given me through the near-death experience, through the visions that he has given me almost on a daily basis. Well, not almost, every day. And I still have these wild, robust dreams every night. And I woke up this morning going, wow. Did that really happen? It's kind of a reminder of other dreams. And, well, I'll just let you guys know this one. There for about a week and a half, maybe a little bit longer. If you have remembered, if you guys have come across, I had dream in my near-death experience. I had a big black spot where I just floated in nothingness, and it turned out that nothingness was God's way of saying, "Hey, wait a minute, you can't remember this part, so I'm going to replace it with nothingness." And for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I would give or take, I had remembered that I went to hell. It wasn't pleasant whatsoever, but that was just it. So I woke up with that on my noggin this morning when I got up. So, yeah, it was very nice compliment. I thank Dave for giving me a compliment that I kind of brushed off. I have been compared to that fellow, and it's just one of those things. Oh, Lord have mercy. Really? Seriously? I'll say a prayer for you there, Sparky. I will. My own argument with Jehovah and the other gods still stands in my own talks. I will not be any. All right, brother. Whatever you got to do. You got to do you. So I don't have it. Well, my only argument with God was when I argued to come back to help 8 people. One of them has already passed, my brother Travis. Now I've got 7 left. And one is, I know all 7, well, 6 names, 7 of the 8. I know 7 of the 8. The 8th one is still, in limbo there, even though I've got a suspicion who it is. But anyway, there you go. That being said, God talks to us in dreams, Sean, but the enemy also uses dreams to curse us. You must learn how to cancel the dreams from the enemy. Well, yeah, good advice, without a doubt. I had a conversation this morning with Shell. We talk on a regular, but hold on just a second. I got a conversation just about ready to happen. Give me just a second, caller, and we'll get you on here. You're live on the air. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi.
Hi. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, this is Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, how are you? Well, where are you from,
I'm
Andrea?
fine and yourself. I am in Chicago.
Oh, I haven't been to Chicago in a coon's age, as we say down here.
Well, there's not much going on up here. Lousy weather.
Well, we're supposed to get a round of storms. I think you may have been touched by them today, from what I saw on the map today.
Yeah, chilly, lousy weather.
Yeah. So, what's on your mind today?
Hey, Lilith. This quote unquote goddess Lilith.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've written something about her asking on my Facebook page, does anybody know anything about her other than she's goddess or supposed to be a goddess or supposed to be Jewish?
I have no
Nothing.
clue. Not something I follow
Nothing.
or look for. So,
How about in a chat?
don't know. They'll respond to you, I'm sure. And which one of which goddess are you talking about?
Lilith.
Lilith. Oh, you're talking about the first wife of Adam, the one that
which can't be proved. Yeah.
She is like the very one of the first demons that have been upon this earth. So, not exactly sure I would say her name too often personally, but that being said,
yeah. Okay, and this thing about mixing up bears and dogmen or werewolves.
Mixing up bears
and werewolves kill are totally two different kills. A bear kill is not the same as a werewolf kill.
Now, how did you come up with that? That's a whole lot of different conversation.
Yeah.
Between a demon and a dog.
Oh.
So.
A demon.
Yeah, I consider Lilith a demon. So.
I'm not sure what she is. I just heard about her like recently, so I'm not sure what she is or who she's supposed to be. But I'm sure if she's out there, she'll respond.
Okay. Well.
But that's neither here nor there. Dogmen are werewolves and bear kills? Yeah, that's a very serious subject. Most are getting werewolf kills mixed up with bears. A bear will eat you, a werewolf may not eat you. A werewolf is not going to maul you to death.
I'm not exactly sure about if you come upon a werewolf. I would assume their diet is pretty heavily protein packed. So you and I are both made out of protein. So.
Yeah, but a werewolf is not going to eat us. They're probably
based on. Wait. Here's my conversation with you. How do you know a werewolf is not going to eat us?
Because a bear and a werewolf are totally two different creatures.
That wasn't my question. How do you know a werewolf is not going to eat us? Nothing to do with a bear. How do you know?
I just know.
Oh, you just know. Okay.
I just know. Yeah. Okay. I'm very good at that.
All right. Well, that's great. That's great. I appreciate you calling in, Andrea. Anytime else you want to call in, that'd be great. Appreciate you greatly. God bless you, and I hope that you find your answers.
Okay. Have a good night, and take care of yourself.
Oh, I definitely will. God bless you.
Oh, okay. Good night.
Good night. All right. Rothian is right. Mother of all earthborn demons, without a doubt. Yeah. Amy, if you want to call in, that'd be great. Anybody else want to call in? 931-994-6917. Not exactly sure I would call. Well, that thing, Lilith. Yeah, just one of those things. That is definitely one of Lilith is a demon without a doubt. I wouldn't consider her to be a goddess of any form, shape, form, or fashion. I wouldn't consider anybody to be a goddess unless you throw fallen angels into the mix. No, that actually gave me a little bit of a queasy feeling, by the way, just to let you know. Definitely will be saying my prayers real quick after this one. But we got another caller. Caller, give me just a second. We'll get you live on the air here. And you are live on the air. What's your name?
Take care of yourself. Let me turn my iPad down. Do you hear me?
Yes. And is this Amy?
It is. How did you know?
I had a feeling.
Okay. Yeah. No. I just. I wanted to continue with the first story about the man in New Jersey.
Okay.
This is a very quick story, but this was one evening that was very odd. And at the time I lived in Bergen County, and I was staying at a friend's house in Denver because my parents had moved back to Michigan, and I was like working in New York City. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. There was this evening where there was this howling, and we know it wasn't a dog. I mean, it was just, it just instilled this fear in you where I was like frozen. It was, Sean, it was so incredibly loud, and it was walking through the residential area. I never saw it, but the following morning, everybody in the house, we were all talking about it and how all of us were terrified. I mean, I didn't want to even leave the bed. I mean, it was so strange. And it's interesting that I completely, and this happened around it was the late 80s, early 90s that this happened. But I just wanted to follow through with the other fellow. I mean, I know that he was much farther south in the Pine Barrens and that he did actually see something, but what we heard was not a dog. And it terrified grown men who were living in the house, and we were all talking, and the father of the home, he was just like, that had to be a wolf. It was like either a wolf that had, that was ill or so, because it just wouldn't. But it was the screaming was so powerful. It was terrifying.
So, have you heard reports of these creatures smacking the sides of houses or trying to break into houses?
No, nobody said anything. It wasn't even reported. It wasn't even in the news. But it was just something that I remembered, and it was really scary. I mean, wow. I couldn't leave. I was just like, what in the heck is that? Because that's not a dog. It's not a dog in heat. And we're in a residential area, and it was just, the sound of it was just horrifying. So I was trying to catch you before the other fellow called in, just to share that. Yeah, there has been weird things. I know that at this time New Jersey is has a higher density, but there are a lot of woods, and especially southern New Jersey when you go down and toward the west. But anyway, so I just wanted to quickly share that with you because
Huh.
it was quite something.
Now that I think about it, with regards to Jay from New Jersey, I wonder if
Mhm.
that red-eyed shadow thing was a Jersey Devil.
Possibly.
Just I don't know why I didn't think of it until just now, but I kind of wonder if that was it. Red eyes, big shadowy creature. I think he said something that somebody had said that it looked like it was a mix between a bird and a man.
Really?
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
No, and do you know what's very odd is that in 3rd grade, I grew up in New Jersey. Well, I was born in Michigan, grew up in Bergen County, but we learned, like in 3rd grade, they taught us about the Jersey Devil in grade school.
Do
you think that's odd?
Yeah, that is odd. Well,
and I do remember like it being like this feathery thing, and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess maybe they were talking about like, what states have like different symbols and different birds and this and that and folklore. I guess they were referring to it as folklore.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's a great possibility since he was down in the Pine. I've never been to the Pine Barrens. I mean, if I've gone down that far, I usually would go over to the ocean, but
I don't think he was in the Pine Barrens. I think he was like 200 miles from the Pine Barrens, but he had been there.
Okay, I misunderstood.
I think Bass Mayhem asked if he wasn't, or somebody asked me if he was in the Pine Barrens in the chat, and I just repeated like a nice host repeated the question. So yeah, he's definitely in New Jersey. We've established he's in New Jersey. He's about 200 miles from the tri-state border there, and 200 miles from the Pine Barrens. So I guess he's smack dab in the middle of New Jersey.
All right, yeah. I mean, where I was, I guess like a half hour from the George Washington Bridge. And it's amazing when you get over to the Hudson River. There's these cliffs that just drop because you could see where the glaciers pushed through. And I'm telling you, if you slip, forget about it. It's like a 400 foot, more than that, drop. So there's some really interesting areas, and also I would find things on our property that were interesting, like an old knife, and then once I found something I believe it had to belong to an indigenous tribe because it was carved, 2 snakes carved out of wood, and a quote unquote friend wanted to show it to his parents, and it disappeared. And also the knife that I found disappeared too. So I don't know. I thought to myself, at first I was pretty upset about it, and then I thought to myself, well, I think it's probably best that I didn't have them because they didn't belong to me.
Well, that's true. If it wasn't yours and you kind of misplaced them, then yeah, they whatever.
I would find. Yeah, I mean, I would find them if like I was more curious, like digging things up in the ground, and that is as far as the area is, it's rich with history and George Washington and who's that trader man. The one that Bennett, what is his name? I'm sorry, my head's like all fuzzy. The fellow who's the traitor, Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, our high school reunion was in. I don't drink anymore, and I wasn't drinking. But yeah, we were. The high school reunion was in this bar where he was kept captive in the basement. So anyway, I'm just like going on some weird tangent. I hope I didn't link.
Oh, that's all right. This
I just
program,
wanted to talk about it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
this show is based off of tangents. That's it.
Okay. All right.
If you could read what I have been writing, it was like a dog chasing a squirrel. Now I have. Is this one of those things I've got probably 100 different sub chapters of what I've been writing. I've got like maybe 400-ish pages of writings of, I would stop writing just because I'd be writing about something. And then all of a sudden I'd have a vision or a memory and like, well, I got to start writing about this. And I'd close that file off and start up a new file. So it's I get tangents all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened to me recently is that I completely forgot about that experience until I guess like it wasn't this evening, but it happened like 6 months ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. But also, I don't know if I shared with you, I grew up in a haunted house.
Well, I grew just about every place I ever, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Every place I have ever lived was haunted.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I think there's one house that I lived in that wasn't. Oh, wait. Yes. No, when I would play piano, I could feel it behind me, watching me. But anyway. But it didn't feel, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I wasn't afraid of it. Is that terrible? I mean.
Well, no, not necessarily afraid of it. I'm not afraid of any kind of supernatural. Now, the thing of it is I could get jump scared and I will act like you jump out of my skin or something like that if I get jump scared. But I'm not afraid of supernatural. I respect it, but I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah. I mean, like even in Florida, one time I was sitting on a sofa and something smacked me in the back of the head, and I said, "You've got to be kidding me!" And I started laughing, and I said, "Get out of my house." Now. I mean, basically, you just have to speak to it like you're like almost like a robber or a burglar. You do not belong here. And I left.
Oh wow. Well, that's good.
So maybe it was. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's good that you were the head of the household. So you owned the place. Hey, I command you to leave my premises. Yeah.
And I salt, I would always salt the entrance under the threshold of the house and things like that. So.
Well, that's interesting. I don't hold much in using salt as barriers. That's just, I look at it from a perspective of you're talking about metaphysical things, spiritual things. Salt, and that would be probably the same way with holy water too. You're using your spiritual connection to God to drive out things. So salt, and I kind of look at it from a different perspective, but I had a whole series of dreams and angels coming to me and telling me what water has to do with this existence versus being with God, how we come into this world. We come in through the womb of a woman, and her water breaks, and that's how we're introduced into this world, is through water. And I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense. And then we, get baptized by water.
Right.
So it's a whole, not having to go through all those dreams, but that's how it was presented to me.
Mm. Yeah. I was when I lived in Manhattan for 3 months. I was being attacked like with the sleep paralysis.
Ooh.
And of course, it was always at like exactly at like 3 a.m. I had the clock, and I'd be like, you've had sleep paralysis, correct? I mean,
yes, ma'am. I've had
yeah.
it. I have studied sleep. I used to do sleep studies. Perform sleep studies on people, and sleep paralysis wasn't a common thing. It was a thing I saw. Probably 3 or 4 times a year, out of a couple thousand people. So it wasn't that very common.
Yeah. So I'm good that there was this growling in my ear, and then also I got scratch. I had the scratch, like the 3 scratches, and what I ended up doing is going down to. I went to St. John the Divine because that was right down the street. I was up near Columbia University. Excuse me. I'm like laying down. Let me stand up so I can speak properly. Sorry. So the thing is that I collected holy water from there, and I blessed my home, and I also had somebody who was Catholic bless me. And as soon as I did that, it stopped.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that the blessing in the name of Jesus Christ worked. I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. That's amazing. That is amazing.
And really, yeah. And I just, I wanted to share with you. My parents are. I'm going to put them on the prayer chain. And I was sharing your blessing that you had this evening, and you had them in tears.
Oh, I'm happy, at least in part, that I helped someone, just for a few seconds. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, sweetheart. You're so great.
Amy, I appreciate
thank you for letting me call in.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you for calling in. God bless you. May Jesus be with you every step of the rest of your life.
Oh, thank you, and bless you as well.
All right. Well, I will talk to you a little later. Don't be a stranger.
I won't. I promise.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Amy from the chat. Interesting stories. Amazing. Definitely thank you for that. God bless you. Let's see. We got D. Dawson in the chat there. BDRP Supernatural. Appreciate you dropping in there, buddy. Let's see. Well, this show took a whole left turn. We started off with the Giants sighting up in Canada. And that was crazy. It just went totally wild. Let's see what time. We got about 7 more minutes left. And heck, I don't give a crap. I've got. I'll tell you what. If somebody can call in 931-994-6917, or heck, let me drop a little link in the chat here. So if you want to be a part, somebody texted me. Give me just a second. Let me look at the text real quick first. Give me just a second here. Okay, Gene, I just got your text. I definitely will be put. Let's see. Gene wanted to ask. Okay. Gene, I have you on. I will definitely be putting you on the prayer chain, buddy. Oh, definitely will. You are definitely on the prayer chain as of right now. God bless you. I have you on there, and we'll definitely be praying over you after this. Crystal's in the house. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you dropping in. Just got your text. If you have left and you come back after the show, I'll definitely have you on the prayer chain. I will update the prayer chain. If you want to be a part of the prayer chain, obviously you can either text me at 931-994-6917, email me at chasingthetruth2018@gmail.com. Kurt, what's going on? I haven't ended the show yet, but if you want to be a part of the show, you can definitely call in at that number. And I'm about ready to post a link to get into the StreamYard with me. Now, StreamYard's a little crazy every once in a while, but if you've got a microphone, you don't have to share out your camera or anything, but you definitely have to share out your microphone to have a chat with me. And I don't have I haven't shared out my camera. My camera's actually pointed at my desk, or actually it's off my kitchen table right now. No, not my kitchen table. Gee whiz. Let me restate that. It is pointed at my dining room table right now. No, you have a push to talk function. You can mute your audio. There's a little mute button at the bottom of the screen here. You hit that mute, and that's a push to talk. Unmute yourself and mute yourself. When you want to talk, unmute, then mute it back. There you go. It's a little bit of a work, but there's your push to talk. But that's back from the old CB, or Citizen Band Radio. You remember that? I grew up with that. My father, God rest his soul, he taught me a bunch about electronics. I built my first AM radio when I was probably 6 or 7, give or take, by taking a roll, toilet paper roll, and a bunch of thin copper wire, and just rolling the living snot out of that thing around that. And a few diodes and transistors later, and a 9-volt battery, and a speaker, and a couple other little things in there. I could probably go back and rebuild it. I'd have to go back and look at it again. But yeah, I built an AM radio, and there, from that point forward, I'd call in, but the show wouldn't end for. Well, I don't care, Callus. You can call in, hon. You got my personal number, You can call anytime you want to. Just a wild thing, Why wrenches? Wrenches are folks that I have seen come into my show and be a part of the show and participate, And it's just one, but wrenches can do what I can do almost as the show owner. Kick someone out, ban them, kind of mute them kind of deal, truth seeker. So that's why the wrenches are that. I know I've got quite a bit of number of wrenches in my chat, and that's by my design. 931-994-691. Yeah, this my personal number, Callus, is definitely the same number. Let me send you. Hold on just a second. I'll send you a. Let me find you real quick there in my text message. Wow, I've text messaged a heck of a lot of people. What the heck, man? Well, it's been a while since I've text messaged Joe Roop. Wonder what he's up to. And the very last one, I'd hate to say this, but last time I ever texted my brother, God rest him, was on 8/30/2019. That was the last one. There she is. There's Miss Catalyst. Give me just a second there, and we'll pipe you into the show here. Well, hello there. It's been a hot minute since I've heard your voice.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a while. I've just been up a lot of weird shit lately.
So how's Florida? Are you still down in Florida?
Yes, I sure am. Oh, it's gotten pretty cold. We have some, God, it was down the low 30s and 28 degrees a couple nights ago.
Oh, don't get, hold on just a second. Mike just popped in. Let me add Mike to the show here.
Sure.
I don't know if Mike will be able to hear. He may be able to hear. I'm pretty sure. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're overmodulated there, Mike. You need to turn your microphone down.
Overmodulated?
Yeah, you got to turn your. Can you hear him, Catalyst?
How's that? Is that any better?
You got to turn her down just a little bit. You're probably about 5 or 10 points too high.
Really?
Oh, there you go. That's a little bit better. That's all right. You know, that's part of.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you mute me when she's done, and then I will join
I can
you.
hear you just fine, Sean, but I can't hear Mike.
You can't hear Mike. Let's see. Hold on just a second. How in the heck do I do that? I honestly, I wasn't set up to do.
Well, why don't you just mute me, and when she's done, let me join, because I got a few things to share with people. So
Okay, that's cool, man. All right, I'll go ahead and mute you. Go ahead there, Callus. I apologize. I hadn't set it up to where someone that would join in on the show through the software could join in. I had it set up a different way, but funny story. Shell in the chat, she's been complaining about it being cool or cold. I can't remember what the actual terminology was down in Florida, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's like freezing outside my back door right now. It's 54, but yeah, I kind of found it funny, but that's all right. I've been down in Panama City Beach on Thanksgiving, and I felt how cold it is, bone chilling cold. 40-degree weather is down there on the beach of Panama
it's 53
City.
right now.
Well, it's 54. It's 54 right now where my butt's sitting.
Oh, you're warmer.
So yeah, well, but the problem is Florida is surrounded on all sides, depending on where you are in the Panhandle, by ocean. So it is hyper, cold down there just because it's got so much moisture in the air.
Yeah, it's a damp cold. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I've been having a lot of weird crap happen around me again. Well, not like it doesn't, but sometimes it ramps up.
So what's the wait. So the last time I had a conversation with you, you had a dogman encounter with maybe some missing time and all kinds of other crazy stuff. So you had that happen again.
Well, remember, I think I didn't join the conversation, but I was in the chat. This was like 2 months ago, I think, a couple months ago, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And I remember exactly what everybody was talking about, but I had mentioned that I had Linda Moulton Howe has a YouTube channel. I don't know who's familiar with her or not.
Oh,
but
I know.
she has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I've known of her for heck, I couldn't tell you, a decade plus, personally.
Yeah, so her thing's mostly ufology, right? Crop circles, missing time, sightings, you name it, right? Abductions, whatever. And she got on a conversation while I was sitting there. For some reason, I was just drawn to listen to it. So I was listening to it one night. And she had mentioned something about certain times a year and missing time. And some people having to get, what's that called? Hypnosis, like regression. And so before I even thought about it, my fingers were typing into the live chat. And I made a mention about the trip Paulie and I took. I got real short to the point because it's a long story, you know? And so I just said, well, I said back in December 31st of 2000 at 10 a.m., a friend of mine, Paulie, and I ended up into a quarry. And 18 hours later, we ended up back at his truck. And I said, that was my missing time. Just, one occurrence. And then I guess the guy that helped with her show, seen it, and he spoke it out loud to her during the show, and she wanted me to email her with more information. And so I'm like, I couldn't, for whatever reason, I couldn't find a pen. to write with. I couldn't find anything to write with, so I screenshotted it, right, with the email address. Well, for the life of me, I couldn't find that email address, so I tried to find that particular show, and it took several weeks. I found it again, but I couldn't find the email address. I said, damn, that's strange. I would really like to volunteer myself as, you know, for hypnosis. You know, somebody that's legit, right? Somebody that is legit to find out what exactly happened, you know, just because there's things that with all of everything I've experienced, you know, there's always that air of mystery, and I don't quite understand it. So I really started thinking on it, and all of a sudden weird crap's been happening the last few weeks. Like between this time and 2 a.m., sometimes even 3 a.m., I can hear doors in my house open and closing, and they're not opening and closing.
Hon, you need to start rebuking the name of Jesus Christ. Get that junk out of your house, man.
I have been, and then I spent some time with my buddy Pete. I remember mentioning him a few times on your show. Some of the, you know, crap I was experiencing over at his house and other places, and we were sitting out by this apartment complex that he was at having smoke. And he looked past the back of my head and he goes, "What the hell is that?" And I said, "What are you talking about, man?" He goes, "Up there in the sky." He goes, "That's not a plane, and that can't be a star." Right? So I turn around, I look, and sure enough, it looked like a bright white light. You could tell it wasn't an aircraft, right? You could tell it wasn't a known aircraft, and you could tell that it wasn't a star because, you know, with the naked eye. So I took my phone and I put it onto, you know, photograph, you know, take a picture without taking a picture, just so I could like kind of zoom in, and I zoom in a little bit and I could see the different color changing or flashing or strobing around the exterior of this white light. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I took a couple pictures. I think I took 3 or 4 pictures. In one of the pictures, it looks like it's getting elongated, you know, like it's being stretched out. And he's like, "Well, what is it?" I said, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. But I said, that's not a star. That's not a space station, because the space station's way over there to the right. You know, you can clearly tell what that is. And I said, and there's stars, you know, in different areas, so you could tell it wasn't a star. I said, it's not known aircraft. And he's like, he goes, "I've never seen anything like that before." I said, "I've seen something similar to it, but I really didn't want to get into the conversation, you know. I really didn't feel like talking about it. And so I left that alone. And then I'm driving home. And now this is like, it would be like the second time I've seen something like this in the exact same area, heading home. And again, it's not a known aircraft, okay? I don't give a shit what anybody says. I know what I see, right? And I just know that it's not like a, you know, any kind of aircraft. It's not a drone. It's none of these things. And this thing was dead silent. There was absolutely no noise to it. And it was white, the most brilliant white. And then on the outer edges around the whole thing was like a gold color. And it was, the gold was like it was moving around the outside of that white light, right? The white light was pulsating like really bright, and it was kind of slightly dimmed down. And at the same time, that gold aura, or whatever you want to call it, around it was moving, you know, like counterclockwise. And it was a hell of a lot bigger than what we'd seen, not maybe 2 miles away. You know, probably 20 minutes before I had left there when I seen it again. And that I've seen that before, the exact same thing, probably 2 years ago now, on my way home, coming back from, I was coming back from Crystal River that time. But it was weird. And it's like I wanted to pull over, right? I wanted wanted to pull over and see if I could get a picture of it. But it's like every time I thought about it, where I was along the road I was at, somebody was behind me. And I'm like, shit, I can't do it. So I turned down my road. And of course, the trees along the left, you couldn't see it. So as soon as I turned the right onto my street, I couldn't see it anymore. And I just didn't feel like chasing it, I guess. I'm not one of these people that chase things, okay? I may chase the truth along with you, but I don't chase things. You know, a lot of things I've experienced and seen over the years, you kind of know better. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go around looking for dogmen. You know, I've seen it. And that's not something I would go willingly alive. You'd have to take my dead body out there to look for it.
I've never seen one, and I don't, I know enough good people like you, Sue, that have seen it, and I believe that, these things exist without a doubt. I don't need to go out and see these things. I have no desire.
See, I would love to be one of these people that have never seen it, right? That have never experienced it. I would like to be somebody that would, hear about it from somebody else. Somebody else talks about it, and I'd be like, I would not believe them because of the other stuff that I've always experienced, but I would be like, wow, that's not my definite, just the description. That's something I wouldn't want to ever lay eyes on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have laid eyes on many of them. So to me personally, not speaking for anybody else, and it's not my job to make anybody believe or get someone to believe. Everybody believes what they want. But I personally know in and for myself that beyond a shadow of doubt, it's real. Whether it's interdimensional, it is flesh and blood. I know I've walked into it. I have literally walked into it one time. I walked into it, and I don't know, man. I've had some real strange crap. Like a couple of nights ago, now in my master bedroom, my headboard is up against one of the big windows that faces out front. And it was really quiet. I was really, really tired, right? I'm really, really tired. And I'm like, God, I wish I could just turn my mind off, just lull myself to sleep. And so I thought, well, I'll turn on the floor fan, right? Makes noise. Maybe that'll help because it's too quiet. So I turned that on. And I'm telling you, I heard nails run down. Nails, like claw nails.
Oh, okay.
Go the full length of my window, and it's a 5-foot high window, right? It's like this house has I love windows, right? I love to see outside, but they're huge, and they're probably within a couple of feet of the floor, and they go almost roughly 18 inches to the ceiling, right? They're tall. They're very big windows, and it was like somebody was trying to get my attention, and I obviously got my attention, and I tried to pretend that, you know what I mean? Trying to make myself believe I didn't hear that shit. And I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, man. We're not doing this. And then all of a sudden it was like dragging the nails.
So how long?
Hands without the thumbs.
Hands without. Oh, so was it like a long rake across whatever surface it was?
Yeah.
How long was it? Was it like the down the side? What was it raking against? That's my first question.
The glass.
The
glass on the window.
Ew.
Yeah, right behind my head. Because there's like my headboard, and then behind the headboard is the windows. The big ass window. And I always keep those blinds closed. It's just one thing I do when it starts to get, when the sun starts going down. This old girl, she closes the blinds. It's just something I have done for a long time.
I caught that kind of habit from my my grandmother. I don't know what it was going on with her, but once the sun went down, the blinds had to be closed, and if you didn't want to close them, and she had to get up to close the blinds, she wasn't happy with you for the rest of the night.
Well, I get it. My grandma Nellie was the same way, boy. She'd flip out. She didn't care if it was on the first floor or the second. story, you know, you better close those blinds. And, you know, and the funny thing is, when I was 4 years old and I seen that first one, right, I didn't think about it, you know, like close the blinds. It wasn't until I was living out at 16 Mile Lake Road, you know, and I had my Doberman and my Beagle. And I had not so much when I was out hunting, but when I woke up in the middle of the night, I was telling you that story because I had the windows on our side of that house open, you know, let the fresh, cool air through. And I heard, when I first heard it, right, because I'm coming out of it, I thought it was dogs. You know, something very wrong with the dogs, but nonetheless, I thought it was some dogs way off in the distance. And the more I listened to it, I'm like, God, that is something very wrong with these. You know, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't coyotes, and it wasn't wolves. And it didn't make sense that dogs would sound like that either. You know, it was just wrong. And you know, and your mind starts to work a little bit. And thank God I used to have this, my mind would be able to shut things out if that were traumatic, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I could go on about some kind of sense of normalcy. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I start, you know, watching my ass everywhere I went, and definitely a heightened sense of awareness and certain other things, but still to the point, you know?
All right.
And I thought, what the hell is that? And the closer it got, I'm like, I started to wonder, you know, could that be what I've seen before, what I ran into, right? Because they didn't howl or they didn't bark, right? The ones that I had seen, and the one I walked into, and the other stuff when I hunted, right? They didn't make vocalizations, I guess the word, but these things were. And I started to wonder if that's what it could be, because there was no known wildlife to me that made any sound like that until I seen them. You know, after that big swamp buck, and then that huge ass black bear, and then, you know, running across the A-frame from the back to the front and seeing what was standing up, you know, not that fucking far away, you know. And as big as that bitch was, if it wanted to, all they have to do is walk up to those sliding glass doors on the front of my house, reach up and grab the bottom of that windowsill, and I'd have been God knows what, you know, and it wasn't alone.
Yeah, from the stories I have been told, these things don't need, you know, they can make their own little doorway through just about anything. It doesn't have to be glass. Glass is just one of those, you know, catch-all little things.
Security. You know, I used to think people that would, you know, say, well, if I, you know, God, you know, I've seen this bear, or I've seen this big moose, or I've seen this or that. And I was, you know, but I was in my car, or my truck, or I was driving a semi, and, you know, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if you'd seen what I've seen, you'd have no sense of security. You'd have none, zero, flat out deadpan, you know, just nada.
Yeah.
Because those things, if man, I'm telling you, I swear to God, if they wanted to, right? If they had the intent to do harm to someone, right? Myself or anybody, they could do it.
So here's my question. Here's something I, you know, talking to many people that I have know that they've come across these things. These things like to induce fear. I think they feed off of it. Somehow they, you know, get their jollies off of it, or they feed off of it, like these psychic vampires, or you know, narcissists. Narcissists love to make you upset.
I think they're very self-aware, right? They're self-aware in the sense that they know what they are. They know how big they are. They know their strength. They know their speed, right? And compared to a human being, you know what I mean? That kind of self-aware consciousness. But like I said, when I was a little girl and I was 4 and I seen that one through the window, it was like my pal, you know. I didn't fear it. Then again, I didn't know what it was either, you know. What the hell did I know? I was 4 years old. But when I was 17 and I ran into that thing, I think the reason I didn't have a nervous breakdown at that age was because my mind couldn't wrap around it. right? I knew it was, I knew it was there. I felt it. I smelt it. I felt it. You know what I mean? It get hear and feel the breath. I seen it with my own damn eyes.
Oh man.
So it was like, it was like whatever intent it had. I knew it had all intentions of doing some serious harm to Brady. There was no question about it. I got the feeling that it was like I said, I swear to God, it smiled and it winked at me. I've seen it wink. Like, don't you go nowhere, sweetheart. I'll be right with you. Just give me 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's like I'm paying attention to you and I'm going to come back. Oh, my God.
Yeah, don't you go nowhere. The bartender in a busy bar, and they go, yeah, I got you. I'll be right with you. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Nope.
And I'm thinking, what the hell? And then I seen, Brady's tinnies and his ass coming, like he's slowly shuffling a little bit towards getting backing out of that den or nest or whatever the hell it was. And I wanted to scream like a girl, and I could hardly speak. And I just thought, oh God, Brady, oh God. And he just kind of looked at me like, hey, come here, I got something to show you. I'm like, oh, run, Brady, run. And I just took off. I ran for everything I was worth. I remember my muscles were on fire. Right. Every muscle in my body was on fire as I was running. And I was getting my ass handed to me with the low-lying saplings and everything and the brush. It was just smacking me and hitting me. And I didn't care. And just ran, and I was dodging, diving. I know I've been into a few trees that knocked me flying back on my ass. I'm sure it knocked the wind out of me. But when you got that kind of an adrenaline dump, it's like you get up like a jackrabbit. You know what I mean? It just barely faces you. You just you're back up, and before you know it, you're running again.
Oh yeah.
And I was crying. I was crying. I'm like, oh my God, my friend's gonna, he's probably dead. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm such a chicken shit. I left him back there, but sorry about your luck. Gotta go.
Oh man. Hey, Sue, I'm gonna have to cut this one short because I just realized I got Mike hanging on the line here.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, I definitely want to talk to you. Hold on a second. I'm gonna send you a text message so I still got you in here. Give me just a second.
Yeah.
Let me send you a text message. Where the heck? I just saw you. Well, something. Nope. I was about ready to. Where are you?
Aha! Right
here we go. Yeah, I know you're right there. I was just looking at you in my text message. I'll just send you a hey there. That should get you pretty well close. So I'll call you probably tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we'll get together. Maybe we'll get a show together and have you, talk yourself blind.
Talk us both blind.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all right. I love talking to you. I appreciate you calling in, and I'm going to grab Mike here. But I appreciate you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. How's that?
God bless you too, bro. Sounds good. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Give me just a second. Pull that one and click that one, and then we'll get Mike back on here. Hey, Mike, are you still there? I apologize.
I'm still here. Counselor Graham. Counselor Graham, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. Just
how's the therapy sessions doing? Hey, I got a couple good news, a couple things people are interested in. First thing is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. How do you pronounce her name? Jacinda Ardern is resigning. Now, she's a member of the World Economic Forum, a slave of Klaus Schwab, and she's gone. Thank goodness. And made the people of New Zealand find freedom.
Yeah,
so that's the first one.
So who's replacing her, though? Who's replacing her?
Probably something just as bad. You know how that goes. But at least we don't have to look at her. The next thing is, for those that are interested, and I hope you are, tomorrow night, Sean agreed that he would come on my show tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for me to interview him.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Sean? right?
Absolutely. And we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. You just ask a question.
Yes.
I know the answer. I'll spit it out.
We're going to talk about you. And we're going to learn more about our good friend, Sean. And I'm hoping that we're going to talk about things like near-death experiences, dreams and visions. And he brought up the black hole thing. I'll learn more about that. God, spirits. I'm about when he started this show and his new part of his journey in this new show. Or the same show, but just things changed a little bit.
Same show, just disassociated from a couple of folks. So
yeah, and so I think
to kind of tie the knot on that one is God opens and closes doors every day, and a door open or closed on me. So
there's going to be a lot of doors closing on you, and there'll be a lot of doors open.
Yeah. There's a lot of doors coming. It is just one of those things. God saw fit that I needed to change direction, and here I am changing direction.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. So you folks, kind of wait to the end here to make sure that those are his faithful friends and followers hear this message. Please come over to my channel. You don't have to, subscribe to me or anything, but think of questions to ask our friend Sean. This is going to be his time, and actually it's going to be our time too. We're going to reverse the table here a little bit. We're going to learn more about our good friend Sean.
Oh, okay. Well,
without interruption. So please join.
How much time have you got slated, by the way?
As much time as you want. So
Joe Roop did the same thing over on the FM, but he got into, he wanted to talk about the void, and we did 3 hours and nothing but he asked about the void. That void took up 3 hours, and then I talked to him after the show and said, if I don't have anybody on for tomorrow night, will you come on tomorrow night? And I did another addendum 3 hours, and I think we talked about the void again. So I did 6 hours on just the freaking void in my near-death experience.
Well, those few people that have been paying attention to me, because I just started doing my live last week, right? And we've been doing 4, 5, 6 hour sessions, as they know, and so I'm more than happy to go, because this is an important topic to me. And so as long as you want, and if you want more than one session, I'd be more than happy to have that. And the next thing is, if you have time, I can share an image, a treat, maybe to close the show down with, if you're interested, and we can look at it, and you can tell me what you think about and what everybody else thinks about it.
Okay, go ahead and share it, and I'll put her up for you.
Let me, let's see, let's present. Okay, get the right. I'm learning how to use this, and thanks to Sean, I got onto this StreamYard as well.
Well, I kind of like OBS because it's a little bit more robust. It looks like you share.
This is what's going to.
You're sharing out the.
This is the show tomorrow. So, and yes, is him. This will be tomorrow, 9:00 p.m. Now, the next thing is just I filmed these things, and we'll go into a little detail. Please snip it, Sean, and use your tweaking. But we got a big old something or another that kind of looks like a big foot and a little old foot, whatever it is. This is filmed. We filmed this. I guess this would have to have been the beginning of December. It's very overcast day. I shared this on my channel on one of our sessions, but I'm going to share this one again. And you've never seen this again. It's a very strange looking clown show, if you will. These things that we call Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or whatever, popping out of trees. And so to take a look at that, maybe you can snip it for me, Sean, and play with it if you want. Now, there's two entities here. Once again, we got the big one right here, and we got the little one right here. If you look, you can see his head popping out the little guy there, and then this big guy that's leaning over. He's got a little grin there. There's the two black eyes, if you will. His mouth, his arm. Strange looking thing. Now, we'll use some other pictures here so you guys can see it a little bit better, maybe. Now, the only thing I've done this is the original photo for those who are interested. You see why I lit it up a little bit. Because it's a overcast cloudy day.
You're
this is on
breaking
the edge of
quite a bit.
cemetery, as usual. Well, it's the edge of a cemetery. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It got awful dark though. The image is dark. I mean, super dark.
Yeah, it's very dark. This is the original photo. This is a very overcast day. I tweak it, so I just wanted to see the original one, and then let's see what can we do. Let's go. Should we go this way? And maybe we can bring this up closer so you guys can see it. Once again, it's a freak show. So you can see the two dark recessed eyes. You kind of see the nose. This one even has a kind of like a little mustache, like he's like the banker from remember the game Monopoly, the board game. He's got the little hair right here. He's got an ear right there. You can see the crown, bridge, and then this big fellow up here. Although you can see once again the dark black recessed eyes. They always seem like they're looking like they got sunglasses. Do you know what I mean? Very deep. And then you can see this is the side of his face going on here. That's this mouth and his nose. And I think there might actually be one sitting or two, a couple actually popping up above his head too, to be honest with you. But then if you go down here, and you can see that's part of his arm, part of his upper arm maybe, or maybe it's bent in his arm with his fingers going like this. It's hard to say. It's hard to tell. Chest is imperfect. Remember, my argument is we're filming spirits most of the time. Once in a while, they manifest fully in something that seems like the flesh. But you know, if we get a lighter one, and we can bring that up a little better. Once again, here's an oak tree on this side, and there's one in front of it, so they're in between. They're popping out behind this front oak tree, and you can see the in between. And if you even a little bit harder to prove, but there's something going on right here. And so, is it like the greatest images? No, but it's pretty darn good anyways, considering what we're dealing with.
Quick question. What was this recently taken, or was this taken in, like in spring?
Well,
or
this
whatever?
must have been about 6-7 weeks ago. Now that was the beginning of December.
Okay.
And that's about temperature. You can still see there's leaves on the tree, so it had to be the end of November.
Yeah, that's what I was
beginning of December. It was right before, because it was if people remember, it was late fall. It was a very warm early winter, late fall. So at least in my neck of the woods, a lot of the trees hadn't lost a lot of their leaves until late November. So saying that I could be wrong there. Maybe instead of the beginning of December, it's the late November. So I know it was that time period. And so, yeah, there you go. I mean, there's the freak show.
Okay. Quick question for you. What is a Bigfoot? Is it a flesh and blood creature, or is it something metaphysical, spiritual, demonic?
Oh, no, I'm going to be asking you that same question tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
I'll answer truthfully what I think it is.
Well, you know, first of all, I mean, I have, and numerous other people have seen these things come out of trees and go through trees. And so we have to deal with that. And physical, if it was a giant physical being, they would destroy the trees by doing that. And at times when they pop out of these trees, those trees end up dying. This is my observation. I think that these are interdimensional beings we call spirits, the four spirits. I think they're very strongly connected with, in particular, trees. And trees have amazing properties themselves and conduct a lot of electricity. And I believe that they live off the essence of these trees. At an energetic level, and maybe, when we say a spiritual level, and, once in a while, we have the misfortune of seeing them with our own eyes. Some people say otherwise, but most times, why do we capture them with our camera and not with our eyes, or vice versa? It seems to be a reversal rule. So it's the light spectrum and how it interacts with them. There's something going on with their eyes too, with their deep recessed eyes. Obviously, that helps them not only just, we hear about the night vision, and or at least we hear about it. Not very many people actually see them doing too much at night. But we see the consequences after the fact, maybe, or maybe what we're calling Bigfoot are multiple spirits. They come in all different shapes and sizes. And maybe we've just been, whether intentionally or not, kind of been misdirected into thinking that it's only one thing. Yet many of these things can end up manifesting the same kind of, or possibly manifest the same kind of activity, right? Tree structures, footprints, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I know that, all I can say is from what I'm seeing, that, if I've seen these things, I've had not only my encounters, but my sightings, and I just come to terms with the fact that they come in different shapes and sizes. One was going to look like a neighbor, another one's going to look more like a dude, and another one's going to look like, the banker from the Monopoly game, and and it goes on and on and on, and it will continue to go this way. So, but I find it fascinating with the dark recessed eyes. I mean, black, very black, and it must have something to do with their own vision and how they see the light spectrum itself in the physical realm that you and I are in, right? That somehow they're able to see when we're not able to see, because they're peeking at me. I didn't see them. They're paying attention to me. What is that crazy dude doing? Right? What is he doing? Let's take a look at him, right? And then they seem to be playing around me. This is real close to actually a tree structure and a tree and a ravine. Once again, in the middle of town. This has happened, and the more and more one looks into this stuff has happened in towns all over the place. All over the place.
Yeah.
And
I just dropped a link to our show tomorrow over on your channel in the chat. So, folks, if you want to hear this conversation continue, but me not being the host, that's some good English right there. So
I'm sure it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but I'll do my best.
You make me as uncomfortable as you want to. You can't make me any more uncomfortable as I am when I fall asleep at night.
Well, I'll try to ask you some really deep and honest questions. I know you have your own personal experience and your understanding, and I think you also have your understanding. Well, obviously, you have your understanding of what the answer to all this is, and it will be good. It'll be very positive. It will be very. I'm just going to be entertaining, and I'm sure it's going to be very informative. And I'm hoping that all of us who care about you, Sean, I have much gratitude towards you. You're one of the few people in the quote unquote paranormal or Bigfoot community or whatever that have treated me with some dignity and respect. And I hope I can return it to you.
Well, that's fine. I allow people to speak their mind up until the point where you said something that I don't personally care for, but it is what it is, and I've rushed people off my show just because I just don't care for them saying something. But that's all right. Everybody, it's like everybody's got
Well, that would be quite a spectacle if tomorrow night that happens.
Well, that's all right, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Sean, I can't stand him right now. After 5 minutes,
I can't stand him. You get the hell off my show, right? No. It's rare that I've done that. I've run a few people off my show a couple times. Who was that guy? There was one guy, and I can't remember his name, and he internationally known, and he was talking about this one guy. What was that dude's name? Big UFO guy, and he has this crap. Billy something. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Billy something or other. But anyway, he got on my show, and I let him talk all the way through the show, and right at the end, I said, buddy, I don't believe a word you just said. I'll let you talk for 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I was giving his due, and after the 2 hours is up, I said, I'll let you talk for 2 hours. And I honestly, what was it? Billy. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'll remember after this the name. Tomorrow I'll know the name and I'll repeat it. But
so was he doing what the traditional thing is? He was going through the scripted of official narrative talking points, basically, and trying to present what convinced you that he was not legit?
He was out. Well, he was a spokesperson for this guy named Billy, and I can't remember his name. Destiny remembers the episode. This is about 2 or 3 days ago, or 2-3 years ago, I think. But yeah, I can't remember. Well, Billy, he named himself. He's a German descent, and this guy Billy, whatever his name is.
I might know him, but I can't think of his record.
I'll remember. Tomorrow I'll look it up and make sure I'll remember the name and let you guys know. But that I can remember the dude. Dude was a bald headed, like all get out. And no disrespect to him, but he picked some dude that he fakes UFO pictures. Oh. I mean, point where he builds. He was a big sci-fi fan back in the day when Star Trek just came out in the late 60s, early 70s. He was part of that culture, and he faked these. He doesn't produce or publish any of his later stuff, but he would show pictures of what looked like spark. You remember those old Sparky laser guns back in the day? From our youth. You pull it and
but it's been so long I can't be honest with you. I mean, I turned 55 last week or last Sunday, so as
well, I just turned 53 on the 6th. So
you did,
yeah.
You're such an old man.
I'm an old fart. I can feel it or tell you the truth. I just can't remember what it was. Yeah, Destiny says, yeah, he was a real fast talker, hard to keep up with him. Swear he was Canadian. Yeah, that was he was an interesting fellow. Don't get me wrong, and I'll never have him on my show again, obviously. But I let him talk his piece, and right at the end, that was at the time when I was just growing up and getting to know how to run a show. I should have kicked him off the moment I figured out, well, he's full of BS. But anyway.
How long has it been since you've done the show? I can't remember now. Has it been since 2018?
This particular show is about 3 years old, I would think.
Okay. 2020.
He did babble a lot, and he was the international spokesperson for this Billy. I am curious. You go ahead and start talking. I'll look him up real quick.
All right. Well, I'll talk about this image. I don't know if you guys can see it, and if you can tell me what you might see. If you see something like I see, I mean, do you guys see a head? Do you see an entity? Am I just imagining things?
Oh, I found Billy Meyer is the guy. Billy Meyer he was a spokesperson for Billy Meyer.
Oh yeah, of course. Everyone knows.
Was it Mike?
Oh.
Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt, Hunt, not
The English guy? Is he the English guy?
I think his name is Mike Hunt, if I remember. What was it, Mike?
Well, Bill Myers, they know they have an English. I think it's an English guy. He has the English accent. That was kind of a pointed nose, very English looking.
Michael Horn, not Mike Hunt. Michael Horn was the guy yeah, that was the guy. Michael Horn was the guy I interviewed. Pun intended. Pun intended. Yeah, there was a pun intended there, but whatever. My brain just processed Mike Hunt.
Oops. Oopsie. Made him another mistake. Oh well. But yeah, I know. Yeah, so and Billy, it's interesting about the Billy Meyer, and did he show you any of the images of the alleged spacecraft or flying saucers?
Yeah, well, you can. Heck, hold on just a second. I'll pull up his images real quick. Let me get the images, and we'll pop it up. Oh,
okay,
sure, right.
Replace mine. Doesn't seem like anyone's too impressed with my image anyway, so it's okay.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Well, this is an interesting story. Might as well end it with this.
I can tell you one thing: I didn't fake my image. I know that. I don't even know how I could. So, that. Oh yeah. So these are these fascinating images, and if you look at them very closely, and if you look at hubcaps,
this hubcaps and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And they're trying to, and they still are to this day, trying to sell us models that the exact same one. That one that you just one that's. Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I think Michael.
Oh,
Horn,
that's the cake.
This is Christmas balls. Yeah,
the Christmas cake chip. No, this is the. I thought this was the birthday cake chip or whatever it is. Okay.
Birthday. Yeah, and he had what was that space gun he had? There was a space gun. Hold on just a second. Space gun.
I mean, you know what? It's so cool looking at it. And if people have seen that, I think that's awesome. I have never seen anything like it. There you go.
This thing right here. That's the one I was trying to.
Looks like a water gun.
No, actually,
a prototype for a Nerf gun.
Yeah. That's it right there. And he was just a huge fan of sci-fi, and he named himself after all that kind of genre. He was a big Western guy, and he was definitely a sci-fi guy. So he built that thing. I think this is supposed to be arm of one of the aliens. I can't remember the alien's name that this arm is attached to, supposedly. But there you go.
Kind of reminds me of Luke Skywalker. A little bit out of Star Wars.
No, this is a female as a whole. This, and then he has a picture of this plastic-ended gun. Supposedly shot a ray out, and it shot through a bunch of trees that made a clean hole or something like that. Not to get too get into much with the weeds in the weeds with this thing, but
it's
yeah,
fun,
it was.
Hey, Shelly, if you guys see that anything that image, let me know. I love you so. But yeah, I mean that's fascinating. The whole story, isn't it? And we want so badly to believe, don't we? That it's for easily.
Yeah. Well, the problem is this guy, Mike Myers or Mike Myers has a pyramid scheme of where these people pay exorbitant amounts of money to get into this tiered thing. And when he has these downloads and these conversations with this alien, that they get direct, whatever organization it is, but they get direct knowledge of what Mr. Myers gets a download from them. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he makes a lot of money off of this.
Oh yeah, some of these guys make a killing. Let me look at what's the Skinwalker Ranch over there, right? Do you know much about the owner? I mean, did you know that he has huge ties to the military industrial complex?
Restate that one more time. My brain.
Okay, so the owner of the property there, everyone knows. I can't think. It starts with B. I can't think of his name right now. But he, I heard that he has very strong ties with the military industrial complex. In other words, some, people that maybe have other agendas. I'm not saying everybody in the military is a bad person, but listen, I think we're talking about the original owner. I think the new owner is some real estate mogul now, right? From Texas, or no, Salt Lake City now, but the original owner. And I'm not saying that there's not things going on in that ranch, and I'm not saying there's not things going on, because obviously there's things if you're going to ask me, there's things going on all over the place. And I'm just saying, I don't think that people need to go all the way to the desert in Utah, the Four Corners, or some other place in the world to actually witness things, see things, and experience things. And I'm just, there's just so overwhelming evidence that if you really want to have this stuff to happen, if you really want to know the truth about it, you don't have to go too far from your home. Honestly, hopefully you're not seeing this stuff in your home, and if you are, there are some answers. And me and Claudia, Claudia was on my show last night, and she had a great chance to share her story, and we talked about the answer afterwards, and it might sound pretty preachy about it, but pretty emphatic about what the answer is. So, and it's not a religious thing to me at all. It's just the absolute truth, and it bothers, and it gives hope. So, but the truth is the truth. It's Bigelow.
Yeah, that's right.
Former CIA, retired Army colonel. Yeah, all these. Yeah, very good. And geez, when you think about that, those are red flags. They should be. If all of us in this community have a little bit of a conspiracy mindset or perspective of things. We should, especially after delving into this stuff. You know what I mean? We should be like, wait a minute, maybe we should have a second look at some things. Always. And I'm not condemning Bigelow. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying, there's just lots of red flags. And when those particular areas or that particular site constantly is being promoted constantly, which I can guarantee you, there's 1,000 other ones. They're probably just as active, just not more active, and no one hardly ever hears their stories. I just you take it for whatever it's worth. You know what I'm saying, Sean?
Yeah.
Take it for whatever it's worth.
You danced around it quite a bit, but I got the gist of it. So.
Yeah, if you want to go right at it, I'll do it. So I'm just trying to respect you and your show. I don't want to cause problems for anybody, but
don't worry about it. The only person you have to worry about ticking it off is me.
Well, listen, there's a reason why they took down.
I'm kind of hard about being ticked off. But, yeah, it is what it is. But Mike,
it's a balancing act, isn't it? To try to share the truth without be careful about not crossing the line, so you're not able to share it again next week. So.
Yeah, there's a whole heck of a lot of key phrases you can't use on YouTube, which most of them have to do with the word P and philia at the end of it. I'll feel you, but put the P in the front of it. You can't talk about any of that crap.
No, you can't talk about anything. Anything that's of great value. You can. So you got to do what I do. I was willing to bite the bullet, and I started a channel, which I haven't done anything in about a year on, but I was very active on BitChute. And so I imparted a lot of information, which it turned out that even a little nobody like me, truly a nobody, influenced some somebodies. It's amazing. And there's if there's one thing to leave everyone with, sorry to be preachy about this, but everybody's voice counts. Don't ever think your voice and your opinion doesn't count. Never believe that. Never believe your voice doesn't count.
The Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. So just read into that as much as you can. Somebody's going to be boisterous is probably God's not paying attention to a lot of the boisterous ones, but It's just my opinion, and my opinion is like everybody else. Everybody's got one.
Sure. Maybe more than one. You never know. Hey, listen, thank you very much, Sean, for letting me come again. Hey, people, if they're still there, please remember tomorrow night, Sean's going to be sharing his story. This is all going to be about Sean tomorrow, and so please join us and think of questions. And don't be. It's going to be same kind of layout as this here, and you can, if there's a question and it's it's respectful, and I most likely it will be, and I'll make sure to pass it on to Sean. And thank you for your time.
All right, I just dropped a link again in the chat there for tomorrow night's show. So if you want to click that, bookmark it, or subscribe to Mike if you want to, definitely do that. Or just join in and bomb me with whatever questions you got, which you could do that right now if you want to. No big deal. But there you go. I appreciate you, Mike.
Good. Much love, everyone.
All right. See ya. And that is Mike. Old man. Why in the heck did I say Old Religion Dystopia 2 is his channel. Just one of those things. And
I have to unmute myself though. Old man, come on now.
Old man. Yeah. But Kim, if you want to call in, Kim's a friend of mine that she said, hey, I've got a story about one of those UFO photos. If you want to call in, go right ahead and do that. But Lord have mercy. This has been one of those shows that I just didn't expect to have all these callers. But hey, that's the way it happens. Sometimes callers just keep coming and coming and coming. Amazing. Amy's subbed for you there, Mike. But we got one more caller that I'm waiting for. The number. Let me text her the number to call in. Hold on just a second. Get this. 46917. Oh, wait a minute. We got her right here. We got you. Hold on just a second, and we'll get you piped into the show if it will let me do that. Okay, you're live on there. And this is Kim.
Awesome.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
It's a going. So you wanted to talk about one of these UFO pictures. Give me just a second.
You got to go back and get to the where you were scrolling through them.
Yep.
I was just kind of watching, and there is a little bit of a delay. So, but I was just laying here doing some writing and just kind of listening. And I looked over when y'all were talking about these pictures because a friend of mine, oh my gosh, there's a playback. I got to turn my sound way down. I thought I had it turned off. Hang on. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you
go. And so a few months ago, a friend, he's an older man, actually, and he's in his late 70s. And he actually he's done a lot of things. And he knows some really famous people. In fact, he worked for Sony Pictures as a sound engineer for like 40 years. So his name is on a lot of movies. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but
okay, that's fine.
He's real funny about this kind of stuff too. So I kind of just want to keep it under a little bit under the hat. But he was telling me about those photos. Now, if you scroll a little bit, just kind of scroll. Okay, now on this first page where there is, down in the very bottom right corner, that's one of them. It's the very bottom right one. It's just like I
think I've got it
hanging out.
Yep.
It's like a dish just hanging out with like a mountain. Scroll that one.
Yep.
And then there was another one. So that one goes with another one. Okay, so I didn't originally see this one, but it actually goes with another picture that's in this grouping if you go back.
Okay. Let's see. It's probably this pie pan one right here. Well, there's got to be a better one. Hold on a second. Let me find the The one you're talking about, the Christmas globe one that is trash can lids and stuff. Let's see. Right here it is.
No,
There we go.
no, he didn't show me that one. He said he was only what, go back. Oh, you're going way too fast. I saw a couple up there that were part of that grouping, and you've already gone way past.
No, that's all right.
But no, there's one specific, because like my friend knew the man that was in this picture. Like,
okay, I
super
got you.
duper good friends, and like this man was military. He's dead now. This man that's in this photo. But he was really good friends with this guy, and when these pictures keep going, there's one where there's a man.
Let's see. There's
oh, there it is. It's either right. Nope, it's in the bottom left-hand corner. There's that one, and there's another one where it's like he's kind of on a hill, maybe not. No, keep going. You scrolled really fast, and now you're scrolling really slow.
Well, there's about a 20-second delay. So when you say scroll, I have to wait 20 seconds for you to for me to scroll.
Actually, okay. Are you scrolling up or down right now?
I am totally 100%.
I'm pretty. Yeah. Okay. So there's one in the left where your cursor is. Go on that row all the way over to the left, and in that picture, there's a man.
Okay, this Billy Meyer contacts Michael Horn. Is that the one?
No.
No. Okay.
Other direction.
Up or down?
Yeah. Up. No, right there. Your cursor was over it. There's a saucer in the air with some pine trees.
Oh, okay. I got you right here.
No.
Well, that's a picture painting or something like that.
Okay. So down. Okay, stop. Yes, that one.
Okay.
So there's a man. That's a painting.
Yeah, that's a painting.
Okay. So go back. There's an actual picture in this grouping that I saw that was in the pictures that my friend showed me. And he said these pictures that are now available for us to see were originally banned in a book of pictures when they in the United States.
Okay. Let's see. There's a saucer right here up the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably in the same grouping, but I'm not seeing the one that I saw earlier. It was
okay. Let me do something real quick. Let me change the criteria here to this and see if this helps.
Dude, those people in the middle right there look like my little space dudes.
Oh, really?
These right here in the middle. You clicked off. Santa Claus.
What you need to do is do you have a
Mountain Santa?
Yeah. Hold on just a second. You can hop off here. Let me grab an invite. And have you ever used StreamYard?
No.
That would be the only way that I can cut out the 20-second delay between you seeing what I'm scrolling.
Actually,
yeah.
You're like scroll. I think we're scrolling like in time. I think it's actually it's weird that the scrolling was in time because you were like stopping when I said. But if you go back to
where it was, okay. All right. Well, we'll go back to the original stuff.
So my friend, there's a funny story. He said that. So this is a story that was told, evidently, from a man that experienced it firsthand to a man who is now in his late 70s who relayed this story to me. And
Okay.
he said that back in the day, and he said it's still kind of like this, that different branches of the military kind of play jokes on each other
Okay. Well,
and
yeah.
spy on each other.
Well, this
Without,
sounds like a MASH episode. There was like Colonel, what the heck is that dude's name? The one that spied on everybody, and then there was another one that popped in that was a alternate spy. I can't remember what. Colonel Flag. You remember that episode of MASH with
yeah,
Colonel Flag? And there was another spy that come in because Colonel Flag popped in, was looking for something else, and I kind of I know it was kind of weird, but it reminded me of that. And yes, I love
yeah,
MASH.
it's funny, but it does remind me a little bit of that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he said that's how they got these pictures, was because they were spying on the Air Force. The Army was spying on the Air Force, and my friend's friend was in the Army. And that's how they got these pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they kind of, and the one right there in the top left hand of the screen, that's one of them. He said that that this was like back in the
This ray gun?
What
Is that the one you're talking about?
no, the magic transistor. Does that have a date on it?
The magic transistor. I'm not
That's
exactly.
looks like the username. So the middle row, kind of, and all the way to the right, that one that's in the air, the UFO,
Okay.
with
This
the
one
mountains
right
in the background.
Yeah, this one right here. Okay.
And so you take that one and look at the date on it.
1980.
Yep. Yep. Those are the ones. He said this was back in the, well, he said that there was a lot of this going on in the 70s and 80s. He said that there are some pictures that even date back to the 60s that spies would get. He said there was a whole book of them. And originally they were banned in the U.S., but now you can evidently get these pictures. He was telling me about it like a year ago, but he's like almost 80. And he's like, be careful, don't talk about this. I'm like, oh, don't worry, Bill, everybody's talking about it.
Whoops.
No, he's very he's a good guy.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Wow. So end all beat all, some of these pictures are real versus what I thought they were just stringed up upside down pie plates.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to me.
Okay.
I think the whole UFO, I it's kind of exciting, and to me anyway, I think that, I mean, at this point, I'd be like, please show up. I'd love to see like a sky party.
I've seen my share of UFOs. I don't want to see any more. So
I've actually, so I think I saw, okay, so I have like an experience that happened maybe 2 months ago, and it happened out in my front yard, and my friend Kat was here with me and her husband, and I was telling them bye, and Kat's husband was standing to my right, and we were both facing the same direction, and Kat was facing me, and I leaned in to give her a hug bye, and as soon as I did that, in the sky I saw this light, and it wasn't a star. It was too close to be a star because I could tell that it was in the clouds. But it was moving, just the way that it was moving, I could tell that it wasn't a plane. Like it was not a star. It wasn't a plane, and it was not a drone because it was so far away. But the light that was coming off of it was almost like a really quick spirally light. That as it moved, the light spiraled away from it. But it was like really fast, so you could kind of see it was a spiral. I mean, you could definitely tell it was like a spirally light, but the way it moved, it moved up in the sky, like through the clouds, like it was moving. It started, and it was, so it went long enough, and I was stunned when I was hugging her. I was like, oh my God. And I just thought to my head, oh my God, I got to tell her to turn around and see this before it stops. But it was all in slow motion, and I just grabbed her and turned her around, and me and her husband stood there and watched that thing go through the sky. And it was probably a good 30 seconds. And it was going upwards. And then it just kind of went away. I'm like, it was like what a shooting star would look like if it were close up, I think. But it wasn't, definitely wasn't.
But it was going to, a shooting star is coming across the sky or coming towards you. So this thing was elevating out of your sight.
Yes. Well, okay. Yes, it was. But the incline was probably 10 degrees from the ground. You know what I'm saying? Or like 10 degrees from level. Like the way that it was moving up wasn't like really vast, like it was like gradual, but you could tell it was going upwards. Like just like a little bit. Weird. But straight across the sky. Like across, but up. It was weird. And all three of us saw it. And I was like, I just turned her around really fast. I was like, because had just been talking about this stuff. They came over. We sat in the backyard. We had a fire. And we were talking about a lot of stuff like this. And then when they went to leave, that happened. I was like, oh my gosh. And we all three were just like,
so here's the probably just a curious question. Do you think that whatever this was that you saw leaving was there watching you and your friends?
I wonder. I kind of wonder if it was. Why?
I don't know. So, I've talked to a bunch of folks that they get marked. There's a couple guys that was in here, Truth and Bass, Impromptu Truth and Bass Mayhem. They're twin brothers, and they've been had a UFO experience. And I think Truth has one of those little implants, like the size of a grain, or maybe Bass. I can't remember, but I think you get marked some way, somehow. Do you don't have one of those little weird implants that you see on these crazy shows, do you? About the size of a grain.
Implant.
An implant? Yeah. One of those little UFO implants that you see on some of these UFO shows.
No, what's an implant? I'm learning.
Oh my! Well, this is something you need to Google. There is these little implants about the size of a grain of rice, and just depending on what it is, but it's either metallic and it grows inside the tissue, and your body doesn't reject it. It doesn't get inflammatory reactions from it, and they're able to track you. It's kind of like a data collection.
So they get this implant, and you buy what, a vaccine, or other?
No. This is by being abducted.
Oh, I haven't been abducted.
No. These things are implanted by aliens.
Okay, but can you explain? Okay, I'll have to look it up. I will do my research.
Oh, okay, Space Cadet, you need to do your research. But yeah, these little implants. Pick you a movie that has UFO encounters, like any of them. They always have these little implants, and there's actually documentaries about them where they go in and take these implants out, and they actually move away from the instruments that they're using to extract these little implants. They physically move, and they pull them out, and they're like, oh, well, it's some weird metal.
You think I'm implanted?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just curious. I'm a curious little fellow asking.
I'm
questions.
curious too. I'm wondering if I've been implanted because I'm pretty spacey. And, I've always been curious and I've always believed in aliens, even since I was a kid. Like my grandfather believed in aliens, and he's the one who really taught me a lot of stuff. And he taught me a lot about the stars. He taught me a lot about the movement of the stars. So in the past 5 years or so, I guess I've had like an extreme interest in, UFO and alien activity and just things in that realm. But I have wondered that about being watched. I did feel a little bit like they thought I could see them or was staring at them, or it felt a little bit like when I leaned in to hug Kat, my face was I was looking straight at the spot where that thing moved. Like it was literally right in my eyesight.
Oh, wow.
It just turned on and started moving. And I grabbed her and turned her around. Her husband did see it turn on. He saw the same thing I did. Kat didn't see that. But I'll tell you something else.
Okay.
So there was another night, and I look at the stars a lot.
Nothing wrong
I
with
see
that.
things in the sky, and I know when things look different. It's like when I literally look at the stars every night. I go outside and I sit outside and I look at the sky. And it's kind of like when you go in your house every day and everything is in the same spot on a consistent basis. And you notice if something's clean or dirty. You notice if something is shiny or not shiny. You notice if the light's on or if it's off. It's just like little things about your environment that you're just used to. And the stars out here and where I live, like we're in a pretty suburban area now. Used to be a lot more rural, but the city has caught up with us. Houston is got several billion people, and it's insane. But you can't really see the stars much
They
out
got
here
all that
anymore.
light pollution kind of stuff. Yeah.
But this one night, and they're not like dim. You can see some stars still pretty good out here. But this one night, something my TV came on by itself, or like I was sitting there. No, that's not true. I'm lying. I'm remembering this wrong, but I'm remembering it correctly now. The TV was already on, but I had been watching a show that like Golden Girls or something like that, like a late night old show. And when that show is over, usually it'll go on to another show. But it didn't go on to another show. I didn't really notice that it had gone on to another show. That it had gone on to something else, because I was drawing or something. I was doing some art stuff. So I just was kind of listening in the background. And then I noticed that it was a lecture about like art and awakening. And I was like, what is going on here? Because other things had been happening. I've been having these ear pops and things go on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been having them still. I still have them. I'm having them more frequently.
Have you ever had any periods of missing time?
Missing time?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yes. I mean, I'm 41. And so...
I'm talking like, you're sitting there and 1 minute it is, 9 a.m. at night or 9 a.m. in the morning, and the next minute it is like dark outside.
Yes, I've had days like that, and very recently, as a matter of fact, I've never really had that experience before, but in the fall, it was very much like that. I was experiencing, just the days were just, I was like, but I was also going through a certain thing, a certain type of crisis. It was like a personal crisis and a depression kind of at the same time. And I don't know if it was just this weird depression, and I was crying a lot, but it wasn't for myself. I felt like I was watching a lot of people. I was watching a lot of people awaken. I was watching a lot of people do acts of kindness, which would just, would make me just burst into tears because I'm not used to that. And just all kinds of reasons. There was a period of about 9 days where I cried just all day long, all day. It was, and I'm talking not like regular crying. It was like gut wrenching, like silent crying that I had no air to cry because of
just
the
a deep,
pain
dark
I was
depression
feeling for the people around me. And it wasn't even for my own self. That was the hard part. And that's when I realized, I was like, I need to do something different and have a healthier way of approaching the collective healing. And so I started to change my approach to people. I was just talking to a friend about this a couple of days ago. She was talking about an experience at the supermarket, and it was a supermarket, and at the pharmacy, they had lost this woman's prescription, and she was just crazy mad, and she was older, and the woman was telling how this lady was just so mad and she started taking it out on the lady that I know, and not even, somebody that has anything to do with the situation. And my friend was telling me the story and, telling how she just was kind of catty back to her. And it just makes me realize that so many people are hurting, and this is why I feel this pain for people, because I know what it's like to be so low in life that you just had no hope, and I don't want people to feel that way and to feel alone. And so I was telling my friend this yesterday. I was like, so here's what we've got to do. We've got to learn, and we've got to be able to, and this is hard for me because I take things personally, but I'm really trying. I'm doing a lot better with that now these days. But I used to take it personally when someone would get angry at me or throw a fit and take something out on me that wasn't my fault. And I would, try to reprimand them and, wave my finger kind of thing. And instead of just looking at this person as somebody that's hurting and in pain, and just loving them and letting them have their tantrum and kind of allowing that energy to blow past you and not absorb it. And so that's what I've been working on lately. And I don't know why we're talking about this. Why were we talking about this?
You went off on a tangent, so I can tell you.
I did get off on it. But I think that happens on this show a lot.
Oh, this show,
I was
this show,
listening the whole
yeah.
time. I've been listening.
Yeah, this show
I was
likes
like, I
tangents.
swear I'm not going to talk for more than 5 minutes.
Hold on a second. I'll tell you exactly how long you've been talking. You have been talking. Oh, gee whiz. Where are you?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yes, there you go.
Is it?
So that's
yeah, 28 minutes.
you had your own little time dilation right there.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I know what we were talking about. You asked me about time frames and if I've lost time. And yes, it was during that period of time where I was just crying and just kind of in this really, I knew you at the time. I think I even expressed this to you and shared it with you, that I was just having a real hard time. And so I did lose time during those days, but I've been getting these, like 2 or 3 times a week, I get these little ear pops, like these ear pops.
Explain air pop. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. What's an air pop?
Okay. So, Mr. UFO, I need to go Google. So you need to go Google.
Air pop.
I'm just kidding. So there's something that these people are going around saying that you're getting, that whenever you get these ear pops, it's kind of making me wonder about what they're actually doing, because there are people out there that are experiencing this too, not just me or others. And it's like, you know how when you go up in an airplane or when you're scuba diving or something like that and your ears pop?
Yeah, okay, I got you.
The pressure builds up. Well, that's what's happening to me. And it's been happening for a little over a year. And I work for a vet, and I was talking to one of the doctors. I was like, do you think I'm losing my hearing or something? And he was like, maybe, but I haven't, as many times as this has been happening over the past year and a half, I should be deaf. And it's not even just my ear, when it pops, it'll be in the right ear, and then maybe next time it'll be in the left ear. But most of the time it's in the right ear. But it's like a pressure release, like a ringing, and you can't hear like a little pop when your ear pops when you're in a plane and you're doing them, or however you choose to relieve that pressure. There's you can feel it. You can hear and feel that little pop. Well, this pop, you can't feel it, but you can hear. It's almost like an opening of your senses. And I already have an extra sensitive hearing. I actually have a hearing disorder. So that's enough. I'll call in another day and we'll talk about that. But this ear popping has been going on for about a year, a little over a year. And it started out just one time. It happened at work, and I was like, whoa. And it was like a pop that I couldn't feel, but I could hear it. And then it was just the sound of the ringing just kind of faded away into silence. And it happened one time at work, and it was noticeable. I was like, what was that? And then it happened another time, maybe 6 months later. And I was like, that's when I mentioned it to somebody at work.
Okay, here's the ear popping thing, since I understand what you mean by ear popping. Since when we increase in elevation and then we decrease in elevation, the change in the atmospheric pressure causes the ear popping. So what if you were abducted and didn't know about it, and you were elevated to some high lofty elevation, and you come back down, and then your ear starts become accustomed to the higher air pressure, and it pops. Maybe that's a sign and symptom of you had been abducted and you didn't know about it.
So this has happened to me like 20 times in the past year and a half.
I have interviewed one abductee, and I can't remember her name, Marjorie, something or other, and she gets abducted several times a month. So,
how do you know if you've been abducted?
She just didn't know. She knows that she realizes and remembers that she's been abducted, and there's some parts of it that she doesn't remember. Like she'll have some sort of physical something happen to her, and I'll look that up.
You see, maybe I have been abducted. I mean, you see my TikToks.
Yeah, I've seen your TikToks. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, what do you think?
Maybe I get a suspicion that you might have been. I don't know.
Who can I talk to find out if I've been abducted?
I don't know. I'm not expert in abduction. I'm one of these jack of all trades, but master of none when it comes to this stuff.
Like, why would they want to abduct me though? Like, I'm nothing special.
What's your blood type?
My blood type is B positive.
B positive. Oh, yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure it's B positive.
Okay. Usually it's O negative that you get a lot of abductions and stuff, and you get a lot of stuff when it comes to
I'm not
all
O
these.
negative. I know that for sure.
Oh, I'm definitely O negative. Ugh.
Have you been abducted?
Well, maybe. There has been times when I have woke up in the middle of the night and think that it's daylight outside. Look at out the window, and I thought, I don't have to be anywhere today, and I'm still tired, and I'll go back to sleep. And then when I wake up again, and it's just a little bit later, it is dark 30 out there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've done that twice. That it's totally daylight outside, according to what I remember of it. So,
do you think it's you dreaming? Or do you think it's like a dreaming, like a walking dream, or like a? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, this was these particular dream. Well, if it was a dream, this was before I started dreaming on a nightly basis with all the vivid dreams I've been having for the last year. But this was long before that.
Okay.
Which, that being said, that may be a realm of possibility. As robust and as vivid as my dreams have been in the last year, I have no doubt when I close my eyes tonight, I will go and have another dream.
I dream a lot too.
So,
in fact, I had a dream the other night that somebody that I know was like, that I thought was like really, really like a good person. It's not a good person.
Oh, some sort of those foretelling dreams. I've had
that.
That
was weird.
I have that. Can't say. Well, I've had enough that I recognize them. So.
Yeah. I've had some other dreams too. But most of my dreams are like fun. I had a dream like I like to fly around and stuff.
Oh, those where I was I was over sleep labs for years and years. I ran 5 sleep labs. And one of the sleep specialist physicians, he and I had a lot of discussions about dreams. And he said, have you ever had a flying dream? I said, yeah. He said, how did you feel? And I said, well, when I woke up, I felt elated, really high spirited afterwards. And he said, yeah, typically when you have these flying dreams, you feel uplifted. And I was like, Okay, well, and he said, yeah, that's exactly what I've had the same dream. And when he hears about these people having flying dreams, that's what he asks. Did you feel elation? Did you feel have a little extra positivity after you woke up? And I was like, yeah, sure, no doubt.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
But Kim, I'm gonna have to.
This stuff.
Yeah, I've
I'm
already.
like, I don't tell too many this people this stuff, but I'm glad I called in because I've kind of been isolated for like the past 5 years, and I've been wanting to get out and socialize and talk to people about stuff. And so thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thank you for calling in, Kim. I appreciate it. And Mike, I know you're I've got you muted in the background. I'm going to go ahead and say a quick prayer and end this show real quick. Let me grab
I'm still on the line, so I'll hang out while you say your prayer.
Okay. All right. Father God, I come before you in the name of Jesus Christ. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, in thy love and mercy, establish your perimeter protection around myself, my listeners, the participants, the folks that have called in, and all our loved ones, those who pray for us and their loved ones. May the holy angels guard us and all our possessions, establishing a perimeter protection around us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards in all directions of us. Ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind, that thou would strip them of all weapons, armor, power, illusions, and authority, that thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating or interacting with each other in any way. Remove them, sending them directly to the foot of thy cross, Jesus, Son of the Most High. Father God, please bless the following folks. Joanne, Merlin's niece, Shell and Aiden, Laura and her family, Julian, Jeff, Justin Walker, Sharon Guy, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron and Erica, AJK, Claire Ellis, Doll for spiritual support and strength. Stimulates Jack and his children, Juanita Hicks, Lee / Kim, Amy, Beth and Kurt and their father, Wes and his dad, T. Willis, Daryl Pratt, Jose Ramirez, Julie Willer, Marquetta Jones and her family, Holly, Sharon Arms, Kevin, Hugo Nagy, and what was that dear fellow's name? Gene and his family. Father God, and anyone else that has unspoken prayers, please bless them in the only way that you know how. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Folks, I appreciate you. This show just took a whole lot of lefts, and I appreciate everyone that has called in from Jay. Let's see, we got D Knuckle, Andrea, Amy, Sue / Catalyst, Mike, and then Kim that's on the phone right now. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you. Much love to all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Much
Bye.
love to all of you. And God bless y'all. And I'll see you probably this Saturday. Definitely this Saturday, if not before. Also over on tomorrow night, over on Old Religion Dystopia's 2 channel. Mike and I are going to have an in-depth conversation, which I dropped a link, and I'll put it in the description as well. We're over on my community page on this YouTube channel. So God bless y'all, and keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard, folks.
All right.